The morning starts like every other morning in suburban Cleveland. Debbie Grayson hums while making scrambled eggs. The kitchen window cracked open to let in the March breeze. The smell of coffee fills the house. Outside, 3-year-old Mark kneels in the backyard grass, making engine noises as he flies 2 toy planes through imaginary clouds. His dark hair catches the sunlight. He's wearing his favorite shirt, the one with the cartoon rocket. Nolan sits at the kitchen table, newspaper spread before him. He's not really reading. He's watching his son through the window, a small smile playing at his lips. 20 years on Earth, 20 years pretending. But watching Mark laugh, watching him play, watching him be innocent, that part stopped being pretend a long time ago. Breakfast is almost ready, Debbie calls to Mark through the window. Wash your hands, sweetie. 5 more minutes. Now, mister. Mark sighs dramatically, sets his planes down carefully in the grass. He's particular about his toys. Always lines them up just right. Debbie finds it adorable. Nolan finds it Viltrumite. The genetic predisposition for order and precision. It's there, dormant, waiting. Nolan folds his newspaper, tries to shake the thought. Mark is 3, human 3. He won't manifest powers for over a decade, if he manifests them at all. Half-breeds are unpredictable. Maybe Mark will be normal. Maybe Nolan's son will get to be just a boy. The sky darkens. Not clouds, not weather. Something else. Nolan's head snaps up. His enhanced hearing catches it first. The low-frequency hum of Viltrumite propulsion technology. His stomach drops. Debbie, get inside now. She turns from the stove, spatula in hand. What? Nolan, what's a Viltrumite warship decloaks, shimmering into visibility like a predator dropping camouflage. It's massive. 300 feet of Imperial engineering, black metal with red accents, hovering 200 feet above their lawn. The hum becomes a roar, windows rattle, car alarms shriek up and down the street. Mark is still in the backyard, frozen, staring up at the impossible thing blotting out the sun. Nolan is already moving. He's through the back door in half a heartbeat, faster than Debbie can process. Mark, run! But it's too late. Thragg descends. He doesn't fly down gently. He drops like a meteor, terminal velocity, impact calculated for maximum psychological effect. When he hits the Grayson lawn, the earth doesn't just crack, it detonates. Soil and grass explode outward in a perfect circle. The shockwave flattens Debbie's garden, shatters the back windows, throws Mark onto his back. The crater is 6 feet deep. Thragg stands at its center. He's massive, taller than Nolan by 4 inches, broader through the shoulders. His Viltrumite uniform is pristine white and red. Grand Regent insignias on the collar. His mustache is immaculate. His eyes are chips of ice scanning a battlefield. Those eyes find Mark first. The boy is sitting in the grass 10 feet away, too shocked to cry. Thragg's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his gaze. Assessment, calculation, recognition. Then he looks at Nolan. Nolan of Viltrum. His voice is granite scraping steel. 20 years since your last report. The Empire requires an explanation. His fists clench. Grand Regent, I can explain. The mission was assessment and preparation. You were to evaluate Earth's defensive capabilities and report potential resistance. Instead, Thragg gestures at the house, at Debbie frozen in the doorway, at Mark sitting in the grass. You integrated with the local population, bred with an inferior species, contaminated your bloodline. I fell in love. Nolan's voice cracks. That wasn't part of the plan, but it happened. She's not inferior. They're not. You have forgotten what you are. I expected better from you. He walks toward Mark. Each step is measured, purposeful. Nolan blurs into his path. Don't. You would challenge the Grand Regent to protect a half-breed? I would challenge the Empire itself to protect my son. For a long moment, neither moves. Debbie is crying now, hands over her mouth, too terrified to scream. Mark crawls backward in the grass, not understanding what's happening, but understanding danger on an instinctual level. Thragg speaks quietly. I ran genetic analysis on your offspring's DNA from our intelligence satellites. Do you know what I found? Nolan's jaw tightens. What? The boy carries the genetic signature of the true Emperor of Viltrum. Thragg's eyes narrow. You didn't just breed with a human, Nolan. You created an heir. Whether by accident or design, you created a threat to the current power structure. He's 3 years old. He's not a threat to anyone. Not yet, but genetics do not lie. The Argall line breeds true. When this child matures, when his powers manifest, he will be powerful, potentially more powerful than any living Viltrumite. Thragg's gaze shifts back to Mark. Such power cannot be left to develop under human influence. The boy belongs to the Empire. He will be raised properly, trained, forged into what he was meant to be. Nolan's whole body tenses. You're not taking him. Nolan attacks. He closes the distance in a microsecond, throws a punch with enough force to shatter a tank. Thragg doesn't dodge. He catches Nolan's fist in his open palm. The impact creates a thunderclap. Debbie's cry is lost in the sound. Thragg's fingers close. Nolan's wrist bones grind together. Predictable. Nolan screams. Thragg follows up instantly, knee to the ribs. 3 of them fracture. Nolan gasps, tries to pull back. Thragg doesn't let him, drags him close by the broken wrist, headbutts him directly in the face. Nolan's nose explodes. Blood sprays. His orbital bone cracks. He staggers, vision blurring. Thragg releases the wrist, grabs Nolan by the throat instead, lifts him off the ground with one hand. You had potential once. Then you spent 20 years playing human. This is what it cost you? Nolan claws at Thragg's arm, kicks, tries to break free. Might as well be fighting a mountain. Observe. Thragg flies straight up, carrying Nolan, accelerating hard. They punch through the cloud layer in 3 seconds. 50,000 feet, 60, 70. The air is thin. Cold. Nolan's lungs burn. Thragg stops, holds Nolan at arm's length, suspended above the earth. Do you see your world? How small it is. How fragile. Don't hurt him. I'm not going to hurt him. Thragg's grip tightens on Nolan's throat. I'm going to perfect him. They plummet together, faster than terminal velocity, Viltrumite strength propelling them downward like a missile. Nolan can't breathe, can't think, can only feel the air tearing at his skin. The ground rushes up. Thragg angles at the last second, drives Nolan skull first into the Grayson backyard. The impact creates a second crater beside the first, deeper. Nolan's body bounces once, lies still. Blood pools beneath his head, his breathing is shallow, ragged, alive but barely. Thragg lands beside him, not even breathing hard. He straightens his uniform, smooths his mustache, then turns toward the house. Debbie is running, not away, toward Mark. Her maternal instinct overriding self-preservation. She reaches her son, scoops him into her arms, holds him against her chest. He's crying now, finally, screaming for his daddy. Thragg walks to them, doesn't rush, each step deliberate. Debbie backs away, clutching Mark. Stay away from him. Don't you touch my baby. Your infant is not human anymore. Thragg stops 5 feet away. He's Viltrumite royalty, trapped in a human shell. I will free him from your influence. He's 3, Debbie's voice breaks. He's just a little boy. Please, please, he needs his mother. Direction, strength. Thragg reaches out. Debbie turns her body, trying to shield Mark with her own flesh, as if her 130 pounds could stop a being who can shatter mountains. Thragg's hand closes on the back of Mark's shirt, lifts him effortlessly. Debbie's grip breaks. She falls to her knees. Mark reaches for her, tiny hands grasping, "Mommy, Mommy." But Thragg sees past the exterior, sees the genetic potential, the Argall bloodline, the future emperor. Your name is Mark Grayson, Thragg says clinically. You will forget that name. You will forget this world. You will become what your blood demands. A weapon. An heir. A perfect instrument of the Empire's will. Mark just cries. Doesn't understand the words. Only understands terror. Thragg rises into the air, Mark dangling from his grip. Debbie screams. Lunges. Falls short. Mark, baby, no. Nolan stirs in his crater, lifts his head through sheer force of will. Blood runs into his eyes. He can barely see. But he sees his son being taken, sees Mark's small hand reaching back toward the house. Mark. Nolan's voice is a broken whisper. I'll get you back, I swear. Thragg hovers for one more moment, looks down at Nolan and Debbie. One broken, one sobbing. Do not follow, do not interfere. The Empire has reclaimed what belongs to it. If you attempt contact, I will return and reduce this planet to ash. This is your only warning. Debbie collapses in the grass, arms wrapped around herself, making sounds that aren't quite human. Nolan drags himself out of the crater. Every movement agony crawls to his wife. They hold each other in the ruins of their backyard. Above them, the warship's engines roar. The vessel shimmers, cloaks, disappears. The sky returns to normal, blue and peaceful, as if nothing happened. But in the Grayson backyard, 2 craters remain. Blood soaks into the earth, toy planes lie abandoned in the grass, and Mark Grayson is gone. Debbie rocks back and forth, clutching Nolan. He's gone. Our baby's gone. Nolan holds her, bleeding, broken, already knowing the truth he can't say out loud. He's gone, and they will never get him back. Not the way he was. 15 years later, the combat arena stinks of blood and ozone. Mark stands in the center, chest heaving. He's 18 now, lean muscle wrapped tight over a 6-foot frame, scars mapping his torso like a combat history textbook. His Viltrumite uniform is torn at the shoulder, exposing a fresh burn mark across his collarbone. Not his blood on the floor, never his blood anymore. 3 bodies lie around him in spreading pools. The first is a Thraxan warrior, 8 feet tall, 4 arms, exoskeleton cracked open where Mark's fist punched through. The second is a Flaxan shock trooper, neck twisted 180 degrees. The third is something else, something with too many teeth, now missing its lower jaw. Mark's breathing steadies. His eyes scan the arena perimeter, reinforced Viltrumite steel. Observation deck 60 feet up. Thragg stands there, hands clasped behind his back, face expressionless. Mark doesn't salute, doesn't speak, just waits for judgment. Thragg's voice carries across the space, amplified by arena acoustics. Time, 4 minutes, 17 seconds. Acceptable. Efficiency, 63%. Unacceptable. You wasted motion on the Thraxan. Explain. Mark's voice is flat, emotionless. It feinted left. I adjusted trajectory mid-strike. The feint was predictable. You should have anticipated and compensated before committing force. Thragg's eyes narrow fractionally. Run the scenario again. New opponents in 30 minutes. Do not disappoint me twice. Mark looks at the bodies. Doesn't feel anything. Not satisfaction, not remorse. Just tactical assessment. The Thraxan had feinted left. But Thragg is right. The tell was in its shoulder positioning 3 moves prior. He should have seen it. He'll see it next time. A maintenance crew enters through side doors. Viltrumite servants, lower caste. They drag the bodies out with mechanical efficiency, hose down the blood, check the floor integrity. One of them glances at Mark, looks away quickly when Mark's eyes meet his. They fear him. They should. Mark walks to the arena's edge, touches the wall, feels the molecular density, reinforced specifically to contain Viltrumite-level combat. He's tested it before. Punched it with everything he had, barely left a dent. Thragg designed this place to be his prison and his classroom. For 15 years, this ship has been his entire world. Flashback, age 5. The cell is 10 feet square, metal walls, no windows. A thin mat in the corner, Mark huddles on it, knees pulled to his chest. He's been crying for 3 days. Throat raw, eyes swollen. The door opens. Thragg enters, filling the frame. In his hand is something that growls. A Kreshnar hound, bred on a dead world for one purpose: killing. It's the size of a wolf, covered in chitinous plates drooling acid that burns smoking holes in the floor. Thragg releases the chain. Kill it, he says, or it kills you. Mark presses himself against the wall. I can't, I'm just a... You are Viltrumite. Thragg's voice is ice. Act like it. The hound lunges. Mark scrambles sideways. The hound's jaws snap where his head was, acid sizzling against metal. Mark grabs the thin mat, throws it. Worthless. The hound shreds it midair, keeps coming. Mark's back hits the corner. Nowhere left to run. The hound leaps. Mark's hands shoot up instinctively, catch its jaws. The acid burns his palms. He screams. The hound's weight bears down. His arms shake. He's 5 years old. He's not strong enough. But he's Viltrumite. Something in his DNA activates. Not powers, those won't come for years. But genetic memory, survival instinct coded into every cell. His muscles respond. Mark roars. Pushes back. His small arms impossibly force the jaws apart. Wider. Wider. The hound's snarls become confused whines. Mark's face twists with effort and rage and terror. The jaw breaks. Mark releases it. The hound collapses. twitching. Mark falls to his knees, palms smoking, breathing in ragged gasps. Thragg walks to the dying animal, looks down at it, then at Mark. Adequate. You survived. Tomorrow. 2 hounds. He leaves. Mark stares at his burned hands. At the dead thing on the floor, his tears have stopped. He doesn't remember when. Flashback, age 10. The training yard is open to space, shielded by energy barriers but psychologically exposed. Earth hangs in the distance, blue and mocking. Mark hasn't thought about that planet in years. Doesn't remember what it looks like up close. 3 Viltrumite adolescents circle him. They're 14, 15, 16. Bigger, older, stronger. Their powers manifested years ago. Mark's haven't. Not yet. The oldest one, Creven, smirks, the Grand Regent's pet project. Still wingless. Still weak. Mark doesn't respond. His stance is perfect. Weight distributed, hands loose, eyes tracking all 3 simultaneously. Thragg's lessons: never engage emotionally. Emotion is exploitable. Creven moves first. Fast. Punch aimed at Mark's temple. Mark isn't there. He's already shifted weight, turned sideways, let the fist pass inches from his face, grabs Creven's extended arm, uses his momentum, throws him into the second attacker. They collide, stumble. The third one, a female named Anissa, comes from behind. Smart. Mark hears her trajectory, drops flat. Her kick passes overhead. While she's off balance, Mark sweeps her legs. She goes down hard. Creven recovers, furious now, flies at Mark. Actual flight, showing off his manifested powers. Mark can't fly, can't match that, doesn't need to. Creven comes in high. Mark goes low. Under the tackle, springs up inside Creven's guard. 3 strikes, throat, solar plexus, kidney. Creven's flight destabilizes. He crashes into the barrier wall. The second one charges. Mark sidesteps, trips him, stomps on his extended arm while he's falling. The elbow hyperextends with a pop. He screams. Anissa is up wary now. You can't fly, you can't even... Doesn't run, explodes forward with pure leg strength. She throws a punch. He blocks with his forearm, accepts the impact, uses it to rotate inside her reach. His palm strike catches her jaw. Her head snaps back. She drops. Silence. Mark stands over 3 defeated opponents. His knuckles are bleeding. His forearm is bruised where he blocked Anissa's punch. She's stronger than him, but technique beats strength. Thragg's voice booms across the yard. Adequate. Mark looks up. Thragg is on the observation platform, arms crossed. You compensated for your physical disadvantage with superior technique. But technique has limits. When your powers manifest, you will combine both. You will be unstoppable. Thragg pauses. Medics will see to your injuries. Return to your cell. Tomorrow we train pressure points. Walks away from the groaning bodies. His face shows nothing. Inside, he's cataloging. Creven overcommits. Anissa hesitates. The second one telegraphs. Weaknesses. Data, no pride in victory, just information for the next fight. Flashback, age 14. The execution chamber is sterile. White walls, white floor, drain in the center. A Viltrumite kneels in the drain, hands bound behind his back. Head down, his name is Lucan. Mark knows this because Thragg made him memorize the prisoner's file. Crime. Showed mercy during a conquest. Allowed a transport ship of civilians to escape before planetary bombardment. 3,000 lives spared. By Viltrumite law, this is treason. Thragg stands beside Mark, hand on his shoulder. You are 14. By Viltrumite tradition, this is the age of first execution. Every warrior must prove they are not weak. That sentiment has been purged. Mark stares at Lucan. The prisoner's head lifts. His eyes meet Mark's. They're tired. Accepting. Do it, boy. I'm ready. He contaminated himself with compassion. Thragg continues. Compassion is a disease. It weakens the strong. It emboldens the weak. The Empire cannot function if its warriors question orders. If they value individual lives over collective purpose, Mark's jaw is tight. He's been trained for this, prepared. But knowing it's coming and doing it are different. Prove you are Viltrumite, Thragg says quietly. Or prove you are human waste. Mark steps forward. His legs feel distant, disconnected. He stops in front of Lucan. The prisoner is still looking at him. I don't blame you, Lucan says. You're doing what you were taught. But remember, compassion isn't weakness. It's the last thing that makes us more than animals. Thragg's voice is ice. Now. Lucan gasps. Blood floods out, impossibly hot against Mark's skin. Mark's fingers close around the heart, feeling it beat, frantic and dying, and pulls. Lucan's body slumps. The heart is in Mark's hand, still twitching. Mark stares at it, at the blood running down his forearm, at the body collapsed in the drain. He doesn't shake, doesn't vomit, doesn't cry. He just stands there holding proof of what he is. Thragg nods. Good. You are not weak. Clean yourself and report to the training arena. Your education continues. Mark drops the heart into the drain, walks to the washroom, scrubs the blood off methodically. His hands are steady. In the mirror, his eyes are flat. Empty. Correct. He's 14 years old and he feels nothing. Flashback, age 17. The sparring session is different today. Thragg ordered the arena cleared. No audience, no observers. Just Mark and the Grand Regent. Your powers manifested 6 months ago, Thragg says, circling. You are finally complete. Today we test whether 15 years of training produced excellence or mediocrity. He knows better than to waste breath on words when Thragg is in teaching mode. Defend yourself. Thragg attacks. The first punch breaks Mark's left arm. He hears the bone snap, feels the compound fracture tear through muscle. Pain explodes white hot. He stumbles back. Thragg follows, doesn't give him time to recover. Second punch, Mark blocks with his right arm. The impact sends shockwaves through his skeleton. Third punch, Mark twists, takes it on the shoulder instead of the face. His collarbone cracks. Mark's vision blurs. Blood fills his mouth where he bit his tongue. He's using everything Thragg taught him. Deflection, weight distribution, tactical retreat. But it's not enough. Thragg is faster, stronger, better. A knee strike caves in 2 ribs. Mark gasps, tries to breathe through the damage. His left arm hangs useless. His shoulder is dislocated. You're holding back, Thragg observes clinically. Fear of injury, fear of pain. Fear is weakness. Mark spits blood, adjusts his stance. His right arm is still functional. He's still standing. That's enough. He attacks. Broken arm and all, he launches a combination. Right jab, left despite the fracture, right cross. Thragg blocks the first 2 effortlessly. The third he catches, holding Mark's fist in his open palm. Better. Thragg twists. Mark's wrist bends at an unnatural angle, but insufficient. He releases the hand, hammer fists Mark's skull. Once, twice. The third impact fractures Mark's orbital bone. His left eye swells shut instantly. Mark drops to one knee. The world tilts. He's lost blood. Bone fragments are floating in his tissues. His Viltrumite healing is working, but not fast enough. Thragg stands over him. You have 2 choices. Stay down and admit defeat, or stand up and continue fighting a battle you cannot win. Choose. Mark looks up with his one working eye, sees Thragg's face, stern, expectant, testing. He stands. His broken arm hangs. His fractured ribs grind. His skull throbs. He raises his right fist in guard position. Thragg's expression doesn't change. Why? Viltrumites don't surrender. Correct? Thragg lowers his own hands, steps back. Session concluded. You endured 7 minutes against a superior opponent. Your tactical adaptation improved under duress. Your pain tolerance is acceptable. He turns toward the exit. Medics will repair your injuries. Tomorrow we train at double intensity. Lies on the arena floor, breathing through broken bones, waiting for the medical team. His thoughts are clear despite the pain. 7 minutes, I lasted 7 minutes. Next time, I'll last 8. No fear, no doubt, just the calculus of improvement. Present day, age 18. The arena door opens again, new opponents filing in. Mark counts 6 this time, mixture of species. All chosen for lethality. He rolls his shoulders, feels the burn scar pull. It'll fade in an hour. Viltrumite healing, the doors seal, the engagement timer starts. Mark's face is blank, no emotion, no hesitation. Just violence waiting to happen. The first opponent charges. Mark moves to intercept. In the observation deck, Thragg watches. His expression is almost satisfied, almost proud. The weapon is nearly complete. Thragg's throne room is a monument to efficiency. No decorations, no art, just function. A raised platform overlooking tactical displays, star maps projected in holographic light, status updates streaming from conquered worlds, the entire Viltrumite Empire, reduced to data points and casualty reports. Mark kneels on the cold metal floor, head bowed. Standard protocol when summoned to the Grand Regent's presence. He's been kneeling for 3 minutes. Thragg hasn't acknowledged him yet. The silence is a test. Everything is a test. Finally, Thragg speaks without turning. Rise. His posture is military perfect, spine straight, hands clasped behind his back, eyes forward but not meeting Thragg's directly. 15 years of conditioning. Thragg manipulates the holographic controls. The star map dissolves, replaced by a single planet rotating slowly in blue and green. Continents Mark doesn't recognize. Oceans that trigger something buried deep in his neurology. A flicker of sensation, gone before he can analyze it. Designation: Earth, Thragg says. Classification: Level 3 civilization. Primitive nuclear capability. Emerging spaceflight. Moderate metahuman population. He zooms the display, highlighting cities. Current tactical status: undefended. Primary resistance eliminated 15 years ago when Operative Nolan was neutralized. Conquest parameters: Earth possesses viable genetic stock and exploitable resources. The Empire requires breeding worlds more than rubble. Thragg circles the hologram, his massive frame casting shadows across the projection. You will secure the planet for colonization. Neutralize military resistance. Force governmental surrender. Standard pacification protocol. Estimated resistance strength: negligible. 1 superhuman team, guardians of the globe. Enhanced humans, marginal threat assessment. Local defense agency with salvaged alien technology. Nothing you haven't faced in training. Thragg stops, looks at Mark directly for the first time. This is a formality, a graduation exercise. Mark processes this. Formality means low stakes for the Empire. High stakes for him. Timeline: anything longer indicates incompetence. Thragg pulls up new data. Tactical readouts, population centers, strategic targets. You will operate alone. No support, no reinforcements. You succeed or you die. Understood. Mark's voice is flat. Secondary objectives? Thragg's expression hardens fractionally. Locate Nolan Grayson. He survived our encounter 15 years ago. Intelligence suggests he remains on Earth, in hiding. You will find him. You will execute him for treason against the Empire. Something flickers in Mark's chest. Not emotion. Something else. Tactical confusion, the operative who spawned me. Yes. Thragg steps closer, looms over Mark. He contaminated himself with human sentiment, bred with their species, produced you. His hand shoots out, grabs Mark's jaw, forces eye contact. You are the result of his failure, but I corrected that failure, purged the human disease from your mind. You are Viltrumite. You are mine. Prove it by ending him. Mark's jaw clenches under Thragg's grip, and if he resists, he will resist. He is sentimental, weak. He will attempt to appeal to non-existent emotional connections. Thragg releases Mark's face. You will ignore his words. You will complete your mission. Are we clear? Clear, Grand Regent. Thragg returns to the holographic display, pulls up surveillance footage, grainy, taken from orbital satellites. The image shows a woman, brown hair, late 40s, ordinary human features. She's gardening outside a suburban house. Deborah Grayson, Thragg says. The female who spawned you. She remains in the same dwelling where you were retrieved. Nolan likely maintains contact with her, uses her as an emotional anchor, tries to find recognition. Nothing. Just data. Female. Human. Tactically irrelevant. If she interferes with your mission, Thragg continues, you will eliminate her. Is this acceptable? If the human female interferes, I will kill her. Good. Thragg deactivates the display. The throne room returns to cold metal and shadows. Your transport departs in 1 hour. You will take no weapons. Viltrumite physiology is sufficient. You will wear Imperial armor to identify yourself clearly. Let them see what kills them. Understood. Mark turns to leave. Mark. Thragg walks to him, places a hand on his shoulder. The gesture would seem paternal if Thragg were capable of such things. I invested 15 years into your creation, broke you, rebuilt you, made you into the perfect instrument of Imperial will. Do not disappoint me. I won't, Grand Regent. Execute the traitor. Return victorious. The hand tightens on Mark's shoulder, just enough to hurt. Or don't return at all. The drop pod is cramped. 6 feet of reinforced Viltrumite alloy, barely enough space for Mark to sit with his knees bent. No windows, just tactical readouts projected on the interior surface. Mark straps in, feels the pod lock into the launch mechanism. The countdown begins, 60 seconds until atmospheric insertion. He reviews the mission parameters one final time. Primary, secure Earth surrender within 72 hours. Secondary, eliminate Nolan Grayson. Tertiary, assess planet for breeding colony viability. His hands rest on his knees, steady, no tremor. His breathing is controlled, heart rate is 60 beats per minute, physiologically calm, but there's something else. Something his tactical processor flags as anomalous. The image of that planet, blue and green. The woman in the garden. The name, Deborah Grayson. They trigger micro-responses in his neurology. Patterns that don't match his training, don't fit his conditioning. Mark forces the analysis aside. Irrelevant. Probably genetic memory artifacts from his half-human DNA. Thragg warned him about this. Human genetics create emotional noise. Ignore it. Trust the training. The countdown reaches 0. The launch mechanism fires. Mark's body compresses into the seat as the pod accelerates, punching out of the warship's belly at 12 Gs. A human would black out. Mark's Viltrumite physiology handles it easily. The pod trajectory is ballistic, no course corrections, no stealth. Maximum visibility. Psychological warfare. Let them see him coming. Let them panic. Earth's atmosphere hits the pod at orbital velocity. The exterior temperature spikes to 3,000 degrees. The pod's heat shielding glows white-hot. Inside, Mark feels nothing except the vibration through his bones. His HUD updates, atmospheric entry successful, targeting downtown Chicago. Impact in 47 seconds. Mark unbuckles, braces himself. The pod wasn't designed for gentle landings. At 10,000 feet, retro thrusters fire. The deceleration is violent. At 1,000 feet, the thrusters cut entirely. The pod drops the last distance at terminal velocity. It's noon in Chicago. Michigan Avenue is packed. Tourists, business people, street vendors. The lunch rush. Thousands of humans moving through their insignificant lives. The sky screams. People look up, see something falling. Not a plane, not a missile. Something else. The sound is wrong, not mechanical, but biological. Like the air itself is being torn. Someone screams. Doesn't matter who. One scream becomes 20. 20 becomes a stampede. The pod impacts. The crater is massive. 30 feet wide, 8 feet deep. Concrete and asphalt explode outward in a perfect circle. Cars are flipped. Storefronts shatter. The shockwave breaks windows 3 blocks away. Silence. Then car alarms. Hundreds of them wailing like the city itself is injured. Smoke fills the crater. Something moves inside. Mark stands. The pod door hangs broken behind him. His armor is pristine. Black and red imperial colors, chest plate marked with Thragg's personal insignia. No cape. Capes are impractical. Just function. He steps out of the crater, surveys the area. Humans are running, screaming, pulling out primitive communication devices to record him. Good. Let them document this. Let the images spread. Fear is a weapon. Mark rises into the air. 10 feet, 20. Hovers at rooftop level above Michigan Avenue. His voice is amplified through his armor's systems, booming across 6 city blocks. I am Prince Mark of Viltrum, heir to Lord Argyl's bloodline. This world is designated for integration into the Viltrumite Empire. Your governments have 24 hours to declare unconditional surrender. All military forces will stand down. All resistance will cease. Compliance will be rewarded with survival. Defiance will be met with annihilation. He pauses, lets the words sink in. Hundreds of phones are recording. Perfect. This is your only warning. Emergency sirens wail in the distance. Police. Fire. Emergency services that can't help. Mark's enhanced hearing picks up radio chatter. Panicked dispatchers, tactical units being scrambled. Someone screaming about another Omni-Man situation. Multiple vectors. Closing fast. Mark's tactical display identifies them. 7 metahuman signatures. Classification, Guardians of the Globe. He rotates mid-air, faces the incoming threats. They arrive in formation. Obviously coordinated, obviously trained. The leader is immediately identifiable: glowing skin, ancient armor, an axe that hums with energy, the immortal. Behind him, 6 more. A woman with a mace that crackles with electricity, a man vibrating at super speed, translucent female, dark-armored human, water manipulator, green-skinned shapeshifter. The guardians of the globe, Earth's premier defenders, about to die. The immortal stops 50 feet from Mark, hovering. His face is set in righteous fury. I don't know who you are, kid, but you picked the wrong planet. We've dealt with Viltrumite invaders before. It didn't end well for them. Mark's analysis completes. Threat assessment, immortal priority alpha, enhanced durability, regeneration factor. Eliminate last. Red rush, priority omega. Speed threat. Eliminate first. War woman, priority beta. Electrical attacks ineffective against Viltrumite physiology. Standard elimination. The immortal is still talking. We're giving you one chance to stand down, leave Earth peacefully, or we take you down. Your choice. Mark doesn't respond verbally. He moves. Red rush is in mid-sentence. Some quip about hoping Mark has insurance. When Mark's fist connects with his face at Mach 2, the speedster's head snaps back with a wet crunch. His neck vertebrae separate. Momentum carries his body backward, tumbling through the air, limbs loose and wrong. He hits the side of a building and drops. Elapsed time, 0.3 seconds. The other Guardians' brains haven't processed what happened. They're still seeing Red Rush alive. Their neurons are firing, signals traveling, understanding forming. Too slow. The immortal's scream, "You bastard!" is still forming when Mark is already moving to his second target. Red Rush's body hasn't hit the pavement yet when Mark moves to target 2. Green Ghost phases intangible. Her defensive reflex is good, well-trained. She becomes translucent, incorporeal, safe from physical attack. Her molecules spread across dimensional frequencies. Standard metahuman defensive protocol. Mark learned to counter this when he was 12. He tracks her phasing pattern, the way her form shimmers, the micro-hesitation before full intangibility. Viltrumite combat doctrine, every defense has a timing weakness. Find the gap. Green Ghost tries to flank, moving through the air like mist. She'll re-solidify behind him. Attempt a surprise attack. Mark has seen this tactic 83 times in training simulations. He waits. Counts. 3 seconds. 4. There. The shimmer solidifies. She's behind him now, hand reaching forward to phase through his spine, crush his heart from inside his chest. Clever. Lethal against most opponents. Mark's already turning. His hand closes on her throat the instant she fully materializes. She gasps. Surprise. Then terror. She tries to phase again, but Mark's grip adjusts, his fingers vibrating at the exact frequency that disrupts her power. Thragg taught him this. Taught him that every metahuman ability operates on predictable physics. No, Green Ghost chokes out. Mark squeezes. Her trachea collapses. Cervical vertebrae crack in sequence. C3, C4, C5. Her eyes go wide, then empty. He releases her. She drops like a puppet with cut strings. Elapsed time, 4.1 seconds. 2 down. The immortal is charging now, axe raised, face twisted in rage and grief. War Woman is right behind him, mace crackling with electrical discharge. Darkwing is already in motion, throwing smoke pellets trying to obscure Mark's vision. Amateur tactics. The smoke detonates in a black cloud. Dense. Chemical. Designed to blind and disorient. Mark's enhanced vision pierces it instantly. Viltrumite eyes process across broader spectrums than human technology can block. He sees Darkwing moving inside the smoke, positioning for a nerve strike. Mark blurs through the cloud. Darkwing's enhanced reflexes let him see Mark coming. He pivots, throws the strike aimed at Mark's brachial plexus, a technique that would temporarily paralyze a human arm. The strike lands perfectly. Mark doesn't flinch. Darkwing's face registers confusion for 0.2 seconds, then understanding, then fear. Mark backhands him. The impact is casual, barely 10% of Mark's strength. Darkwing's jaw shatters. 3 teeth exit his mouth at 40 miles per hour. His body ragdolls through the smoke cloud, through the air, through the glass facade of a Starbucks. He hits the back wall. The structural support beam bends. Darkwing slides down it, leaving a red smear. He doesn't move again. Elapsed time, 7.8 seconds. 3 down. Aquarius is next. The water manipulator pulls moisture from the air, from broken fire hydrants from the Chicago River 3 blocks away. The water coalesces into massive tendrils. Impressive control. He's been training for years. Irrelevant. The water tendrils lash out, trying to entangle Mark. Each tendril has hydraulic pressure enough to crush steel. Mark flies directly into them. The water hits him. Does nothing, his momentum doesn't even slow. He grabs Aquarius by the face mid-flight, keeps accelerating. They go up. 200 feet, 500, 1,000. Aquarius is screaming, clawing at Mark's arm. His water manipulation is useless at this altitude. Not enough moisture to work with. Mark keeps climbing. 2,000 feet, 5,000, 10,000. At 15,000 feet, Mark stops. Holds Aquarius at arm's length. The metahuman is gasping now. Thin air, temperature drop. Pure panic. Please, Aquarius manages. I have family. Irrelevant. He releases him. Aquarius falls, screaming, flailing, trying to pull water from the air, but there's not enough. Not enough. Not. The impact is wet. Final. Elapsed time, 15.4 seconds. 4 down. Mark descends. The Immortal and War Woman are waiting. Behind them, Martian Man hovers. The shapeshifter, the telepath. Dangerous if given time to work. The Immortal's ancient eyes are wet, fury and grief warring on his face. They were heroes. They were good people. Glass crunches under his boots. They were obstacles. You're a child, War Woman shouts. Her mace is fully charged now, lightning arcing between its flanges. We could have reasoned with you. We could have... No, you couldn't. Mark's stance shifts. Weight forward, hands loose, knees bent. Combat ready. Your strength is insufficient. Your tactics are predictable. Your sentimentality makes you vulnerable. You were dead the moment you engaged. The Immortal roars, launches forward, axe swinging in a wide arc designed to bisect Mark at the waist. War Woman attacks simultaneously from the other side, mace aimed at Mark's skull. Coordinated. Practiced. Mark drops under the axe swing, rolls forward between them, comes up inside their guard, drives his elbow into War Woman's abdomen, just below her armor's protection, feels the impact compress her internal organs, rupture her spleen. She gasps, staggers back. The Immortal reverses his swing. The axe blade is faster this time, more desperate. Mark blocks with his forearm. The blade hits Viltrumite's skin and stops. The impact vibrates up the axe handle, nearly tears it from the Immortal's grip. His eyes widen. What are you? Better. The Immortal comes with it. Can't let go fast enough. Mark headbutts him. The Immortal's nose explodes. Blood sprays across his glowing face. His orbital bone cracks. Mark spins, still holding the axe, swings it like a baseball bat. The flat of the blade catches War Woman in the chest as she's trying to recover. Sternum breaks. Ribs cave inward. She flies backward, crashes through a parked bus. The bus tips over. Smoke pours from its engine. War Woman doesn't emerge. Elapsed time, 21.7 seconds. 5 down. The Immortal staggers back, face ruined, but already healing. His regeneration factor is working, broken bones knitting, torn flesh closing. This isn't possible. Omni-Man was strong, but you're... Trained. Mark discards the axe. It clatters on the street. Omni-Man was corrupted by sentiment, weakened by 2 decades of human exposure. I was raised properly. Martian Man makes his move. Finally, the telepath has been building an attack, constructing a mental assault designed to incapacitate Mark through psychic trauma. The attack hits Mark's mind like a tsunami. Images flood his consciousness. A woman's face. A house. A small hand reaching for a toy plane. A voice singing softly. Warmth, safety, love. Human memories. Buried memories. 3 years old, before Thragg, before training, before everything. For 0.8 seconds, Mark's concentration wavers. Then his conditioning reasserts itself. Thragg spent years building mental fortresses, conditioning Mark against exactly this kind of attack. The memories hit barriers, break apart, dissolve. Mark's eyes snap to Martian Man. Insufficient. He flies, crosses the distance in a heartbeat. Martian Man tries to phase shift, tries to become intangible like Green Ghost. But he's slower, less practiced. Mark's hand closes on his throat before the shift completes. No, wait, I can show you. Martian man's voice is panicked. Telepathy projecting directly into Mark's mind. Images of Mark's mother, his father, childhood memories Martian man is pulling from Mark's subconscious, weaponizing them. Mark's grip tightens. Stop. You don't understand. You were human once. You were... Martian man is still talking, still projecting, still trying to break through the conditioning. Mark reaches 40,000 feet. The air is thin. Freezing. Martian physiology needs oxygen. Not as much as humans, but enough. Mark holds him there, watches him suffocate, watches the green skin turn purple, watches the telepathic assault weaken, fade, stop. Martian man's body goes limp. Mark releases it, lets it tumble back toward Earth, doesn't watch it fall. Elapsed time, 27.3 seconds. 6 down. He descends. The immortal is alone now, standing in the wreckage of his team. Blood and smoke and scattered bodies. His regeneration has fixed his face, but his eyes are hollowed. Why? The immortal's voice is hoarse. They were heroes. Heroes are obsolete. Mark lands 20 feet away. Earth is mine. The Empire's, your defense was theater. Meaningless posturing against superior force. You're wrong. The immortal grips his axe with both hands. Strength isn't just power. It's will. It's purpose. It's fighting for something bigger than yourself. He charges. Something you'll never understand. He's fast. Faster than the others. 3,000 years of combat experience driving every move. The axe comes at Mark from impossible angles. High, low, feinting, real. The immortal is using everything he learned fighting gods and demons and monsters. Mark parries, blocks, counters. They trade blows across Michigan Avenue. Each impact creates shockwaves. Windows shatter in cascading sequence. The street cracks under their feet. The immortal lands a solid hit, axe blade into Mark's shoulder. It penetrates half an inch before stopping against Viltrumite muscle density. Mark doesn't even grunt, just grabs the axe handle, wrenches it away, snaps it in half. No. The immortal's eyes widen. Mark drives his fist into the immortal's ribs. Once, twice, feels them break. The immortal's regeneration is working, but Mark is breaking bones faster than they can heal. The immortal swings wild, desperation punches, no technique. Mark blocks everything, waits for an opening. There, the immortal overextends on a right cross. Mark ducks under it, comes up inside his guard, both hands on the immortal's jaw and skull. The classic Viltrumite execution grip. The immortal understands, tries to pull away. Too late. Mark twists. The immortal's neck snaps, but he's still alive. Regeneration already starting, vertebrae beginning to realign. Not fast enough. Mark keeps twisting. 90 degrees. 180. Full rotation. The immortal's head is facing backward now, body convulsing, regeneration fighting the damage. Mark doesn't stop, keeps twisting. The muscles tear. The spinal cord shreds. Skin splits. Mark rips the immortal's head off. The body collapses, still regenerating, trying to regrow a head that isn't there. It twitches on the pavement, blood pumping from the stump. Mark holds the severed head at eye level. The immortal's eyes are still moving, awareness fading slowly. Regeneration unable to save him this time. You were right about one thing, Mark says quietly. Heroes do fight for something bigger than themselves. He drops the head. That's why they lose. The head bounces once, rolls to a stop against a fire hydrant. Elapsed time, 28 seconds. 7 down, Mark stands in the center of Michigan Avenue, surrounded by bodies, blood pooling around his boots, smoke drifting across the battlefield. His breathing is steady, heart rate barely elevated, no injuries, no fatigue. Above, news helicopters circle, cameras capturing everything, broadcasting to the world. Perfect. Mark looks up, finds the nearest camera, speaks directly to it. Nolan Grayson, you have 1 hour to surrender yourself to me. If you do not, I will select a population center and begin systematic extermination. 1,000 humans per minute until you comply, starting with this city. He points down at Chicago. Your choice. Paramedics running to bodies they can't save, police establishing perimeters around threats they can't contain, humans screaming, crying, documenting their own helplessness. Mark's tactical display updates. Primary objective progress, 12%. Earth defense forces neutralized, awaiting governmental responses. He waits. Somewhere in this city or nearby, Nolan Grayson is watching. the traitor, the operative who spawned him, the target. Mark feels nothing about this, no anticipation, no curiosity, no buried emotion, just mission parameters and tactical readiness. 1 hour until the next phase begins. Suburban Cleveland, the Grayson house. Nolan stands in the living room, television on, watching his son murder Earth's heroes in 28 seconds. The footage is shaky, news helicopter feed too far away for clear detail, but close enough to see the bodies dropping, close enough to see Mark's face. Cold, efficient, empty. Debbie stands beside him, hand over her mouth. She's been crying since the first body hit the pavement. That's not him. Nolan, that's not our baby. That can't be. It is. Nolan's voice is hollow. He's been preparing for this moment for 15 years. Knew it was coming, hoped it wouldn't. That's Mark. On screen, Mark holds the immortal's severed head, drops it. The camera zooms on his face as he delivers his ultimatum. 1 hour, 1,000 deaths per minute, Nolan's choice. Debbie grabs Nolan's arm. You can't go. He'll kill you. You saw what he just did. He's not our son anymore. He's exactly our son. Nolan turns off the television. Can't watch anymore. Thragg took him, broke him, rebuilt him. This is my fault. Then let someone else handle it. The military, the government, someone. There is no one else, Debbie. The Guardians are dead. I'm the only person on this planet who even has a chance. Nolan walks to the closet. His old costume is there. The white and red Omni-Man suit he hasn't worn in 15 years. He stares at it. I have to try. Try what? To fight him? To talk to him? Debbie's voice breaks. He doesn't remember us. You heard him. He called you a traitor. Called himself Prince Mark of Viltrum. That's Thragg talking. Thragg's programming. There's nothing left of our little boy. Nolan pulls out the costume. The fabric is old, faded, feels wrong in his hands. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's nothing left. But I have to know for certain. He looks at his wife. 20 years of marriage, 20 years of pretending to be human, 20 years of actually becoming human. If I don't come back, don't. Debbie's crying openly now. Don't you dare say goodbye. You come back. You bring our son home. Both of you. Nolan pulls her into a hug, holds her tight, memorizes the feeling, I love you too. She pulls back, looks at him. Promise me you'll try to reach him. Don't just fight, try to remind him who he was. Please, I promise. It fits differently now, tighter across the chest, looser at the waist. 15 years of grief and guilt have changed his body. He looks at himself in the mirror, sees an old man playing superhero. He flies through the roof without opening the door. Doesn't have time for doors. Chicago. Mark hovers above Michigan Avenue, waiting. His internal chronometer counts down. 47 minutes since the ultimatum. 13 minutes remaining. If Nolan doesn't appear, Mark will begin the extermination as promised. Select the nearest stadium. Soldier Field, capacity 61,500. Start there. He feels nothing about this prospect. No anticipation, no dread. Just tactical calculation. 61,500 deaths at 1,000 per minute equals 61.5 minutes of work. Efficient. His enhanced hearing picks up the sonic boom before his eyes spot the incoming signature. Nolan arrives from the east, braking Mach 2, decelerating hard. He stops 100 feet from Mark. Father and son face each other across empty air. Mark analyzes him immediately. Nolan Grayson. Age, approximately 2,000 Viltrumite years. Combat effectiveness, degraded. 15 years inactive. Emotional compromise evident. Threat level, manageable. Nolan looks at Mark. Really looks. Tries to find something familiar. The eyes are Mark's eyes. Same shape, same color. But everything behind them is different. Dead. Trained. Mark. Nolan's voice cracks on the name. It's me. It's Dad. Unauthorized breeding with inferior species. Emotional compromise leading to operational failure. His voice is mechanical, reciting charges. The penalty is death. You may surrender and accept immediate execution, or resist and suffer prolonged termination. Choose. Then you choose immediate execution. Mark's posture shifts to combat ready. No, wait. Nolan raises his hands, non-threatening. I know you don't remember, but I was there when you were born. I held you. You were so small. You fit in my arms. Your mother, Debbie, she cried when she first saw you. Happy tears, because you were perfect, because you were ours. Psychological warfare, attempting emotional manipulation through false attachment narratives. Tactic identified, proceeding with termination. They're not false, Nolan flies closer, still hands raised. Your first word was data. You said it at 14 months. You were pointing at me, laughing. Your mother recorded it. We watched that video 100 times. You were so proud of yourself. Irrelevant data, proceed to combat or accept execution. Your favorite food was chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. You had a blanket, blue with rockets. You called it Zoom Zoom. You couldn't sleep without it. Nolan's voice is desperate now, words tumbling out. You wanted to be a paleontologist. You had books about dinosaurs all over your room. T-Rex was your favorite. You'd roar like one. Make your mother chase you around the house. Mark moves, crosses the distance in a microsecond, grabs Nolan by the throat, lifts him. Cease speech. Your words are waste. The human child you describe is dead. I am what remains. Accept this. Nolan gasps, clawing at Mark's hand. Mark, please. I am not Mark. I am Prince of Viltrum, heir of Argal, the Grand Regent's weapon. His grip tightens. I am not your son. He could fight back, should fight back. But he promised Debbie he'd try to reach him first. You are my son. No matter what Thragg did, no matter what you became, you're still mine. Mark's eyes narrow. Prove it. Strike me. Defend yourself. Or die passive and weak. Nolan's hands drop from Mark's wrist. He stops struggling. Looks directly into Mark's eyes. No. I won't fight, my son. If you're going to kill me, you'll have to do it while I'm not fighting back. Maybe then you'll remember. Maybe then you'll feel something. For 1 microsecond, so brief Mark almost doesn't register it, his grip loosens. Something in Nolan's words, in his eyes, in his absolute surrender, creates a flicker in Mark's tactical processor, an anomaly, an error that shouldn't exist. Mark's conditioning reasserts itself. The grip tightens again. Sentiment is weakness. No, Nolan's voice is barely a whisper now. Love is strength. It's the only strength that matters. Calculates the strike, through Nolan's sternum, into his heart. Crush it. Immediate death. Clean. Efficient. His fist cocks back. Nolan doesn't close his eyes, just keeps looking at Mark, at his son. I love you, Mark. Your mother loves you. We never stopped. We never will. Mark's fist is 3 inches from impact when a voice screams from below. Mark! No! She's running across Michigan Avenue, through the wreckage, past the bodies, ignoring every self-preservation instinct. She stops directly beneath them, looking up, arms spread like she could catch them if they fell. Don't do this, please. Her voice is raw. I'm your mother, he's your father. We're your family. Mark's tactical processor floods with error messages. Unknown variable. Emotional appeal. Responsi protocol. Undefined. His grip on Nolan's throat remains firm, but his raised fist doesn't move, forward or back, just frozen. Nolan feels the hesitation, seizes it. Mark, look at her. Really look. You know her. Deep down, you know her. Mark's eyes lock on Debbie. His enhanced vision analyzes her. Deborah Grayson, age 47. No combat capability. No metahuman enhancement. Threat level, 0. But something else registers. Something his tactical processor can't categorize. Her face. The way she's standing. The sound of her voice. They trigger responses in neural pathways that shouldn't exist. Shouldn't have survived 15 years of conditioning. You carried me, Mark says. His voice is different, confused, uncertain. Not the mechanical tone from before. For 9 months, in your body, I know this. How do I know this? Debbie's crying, but she's smiling too. Because it's true, baby. I carried you. I felt you kick. I sang to you I loved you before I even met you. Mark's fist lowers slightly. His grip on Nolan loosens fractionally. This is malfunction. Error in conditioning. Must purge. It's not a malfunction. Debbie takes a step closer. It's you. The real you. The boy who laughed and played and loved. He's still in there. I know he is. Mark's hand starts to shake. The one holding Nolan. No. Thragg purged the human disease. I am Viltrumite. I am. You're my son, Debbie's voice cracks. You're Mark Grayson. You're both human and Viltrumite, and that's not weakness, baby. That's what makes you special. Mark's eyes are wide now, confused. His conditioning and her words are colliding in his head, creating cognitive dissonance he's never experienced. I can't. The protocols say, forget the protocols. Nolan gasps out. Mark, please, just for 1 second, forget everything Thragg taught you and remember who you were, who you really are. Mark's grip opens. Nolan drops, catches himself mid-air, coughing. Mark hovers there, hands at his sides, staring at them both. His tactical processor is screaming at him, mission failure, eliminate targets, complete objectives. But a different voice, buried, weak, but present, is screaming louder, stop. These are your parents. This is wrong. I should kill you. Mark's voice is strained. The mission requires it. The Grand Regent commands it. I should kill you both and complete my objectives. Debbie looks up at him. But you haven't. Why? Mark looks at his hands. They're shaking now, visible tremors. Physiological impossibility for a trained Viltrumite. I don't know. I don't know why I can't. The programming is clear. The orders are explicit. But I can't make myself. His comm device activates. Thragg's voice fills his helmet. Report, status of primary and secondary objectives. Mark's hand moves to the comm. Automatic response. But he doesn't speak immediately. Report. Thragg's voice is sharp now. I am monitoring your vitals. You have experienced elevated heart rate, respiratory irregularity, and motor tremors. Explain. Mark's jaw clenches. I have encountered the targets, Nolan Grayson and the human female Deborah Grayson. They are attempting psychological manipulation. I am experiencing technical difficulty. Request immediate extraction and reprogramming. Silence on the comm. Then Thragg's voice, colder than vacuum. You hesitated. Negative. I am simply... You showed mercy. Weakness. The human disease has resurfaced. Thragg's disgust is palpable. You were my greatest creation, my perfect weapon, and you have failed me. Grand Regent, I can still complete. Defective. Useless. The comm crackles. I am en route to your location. I will terminate all 3 targets personally and dispose of your corpse as an example. You have disappointed me for the last time. The transmission ends. Mark floats there, processing. 15 years of service. 15 years of perfect obedience. And Thragg just declared him disposable. Nolan sees the shift in Mark's expression. What did he say? Mark's hands curl into fists. Not against them, against something else. He's coming to kill all of us. He says I'm defective, contaminated, that I need to be disposed of. Then we run, Nolan says. All 3 of us. We get Debbie to safety and we... No. Mark's voice is harder now. Different. I spent 15 years being his weapon, following his orders, becoming what he wanted, and the moment I showed doubt, I'm garbage. He looks at Nolan. Is that what the Empire does? Throws away anyone who questions? Yes. Nolan moves beside Debbie protectively. That's exactly what they do. That's why I left. That's why I chose Earth over Viltrum. Mark's tactical processor is recalculating. New variables, new priorities, the mission parameters are dissolving, being replaced by something else, something Thragg would call weakness, something that feels like choice. He's going to kill you, Mark says quietly, both of you, because I failed, because I'm defective. Then don't let him. Mark, please. You don't have to be his weapon anymore. You can choose. You can be our son. Mark looks at his mother, the small, fragile human who threw herself between gods to protect her family. Then at Nolan, the traitor who chose love over empire. Then at his own hands, hands that killed 7 heroes, hands that are still shaking. I don't know how to be your son, Mark says. I don't remember how. Thragg took that from me. Then we'll teach you, Nolan says. Starting right now. Starting with standing together against him. The sky splits. Sonic boom. Massive. Thragg descends like the wrath of a dying god, impact cratering Michigan Avenue 200 feet away. He stands, straightens, walks toward them with measured steps. His face is carved from contempt. Mark, Thragg's voice could freeze stars. Step aside. Your usefulness has expired. I will handle this personally. Mark doesn't move, stays between Thragg and his parents. Thragg stops, his eyes narrow. You dare. 15 years of loyalty. 15 years of perfect service. And it all meant nothing the moment I questioned. Because questions are weakness, doubt is disease. You have been infected by human sentiment. Thragg takes another step. I will purge it, starting with them. Thragg looks at them, father and son, standing together. His lip curls. How many bones must I break to teach you your place, Nolan? I did it 15 years ago. I will do it again, and this time, I will not leave you alive to contaminate my weapon further. I'm not your weapon anymore, Mark says. Thragg's eyes lock on him. Then what are you? Mark looks at Debbie, at Nolan, at the family he doesn't remember but somehow recognizes. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. He attacks. Thragg closes the distance in a microsecond. His first punch is aimed at Nolan, the weaker link, the broken soldier. The strike carries enough force to liquefy organs. Nolan barely gets his guard up in time. The impact sends him through 3 buildings. Mark blurs forward, intercepts Thragg's follow-up. Their fists collide midair. The shockwave shatters every window within 2 blocks. Car alarms scream. The pavement beneath them cracks in a spiderweb pattern. Thragg's eyes are cold, analytical. You have improved since our last session. 8 months of field experience. Good. This will be educational. He pivots, drives his knee into Mark's ribs. Mark blocks, barely. Feels the impact rattle his bones. Counters with an elbow strike. Thragg's head moves 3 inches, returns to center, unaffected. Power, insufficient. Thragg grabs Mark's striking arm, twists. The shoulder dislocates with a wet pop. You are still decades from being my equal. Mark's face contorts, not in pain, but in concentration. He's fought through worse injuries. This is manageable. He rotates with the twist, uses the momentum to drive his knee into Thragg's sternum. Thragg takes it, doesn't even grunt. Releases Mark's arm, backhands him across the jaw. Mark's head snaps sideways. Blood fills his mouth. He tastes copper, spits, resets his dislocated shoulder with a sharp jerk. The pop is audible. His Viltrumite healing is already starting, but slowly. Nolan emerges from the rubble, blood streaming from his nose, uniform torn. He flies at Thragg from behind. Thragg doesn't turn, catches Nolan's punch over his shoulder, pulls him forward, drives his elbow into Nolan's face. Nolan's orbital bone fractures, his eye swells shut instantly. 20 years of rust, Thragg observes. You were never exceptional, Nolan, but you were competent. Now you're merely pathetic. He throws Nolan at Mark. They collide, tumble through the air, separate, circle back. Debbie is pressed against a building wall, watching, hands over her mouth. She wants to run, should run. Can't make herself leave. Mark and Nolan hover side by side, bleeding damaged. Thragg floats opposite them, pristine. Waiting, coordinated attack, Nolan gasps. High-low. I'll draw his focus. I know the pattern. Mark's voice is strained. I've run this scenario 300 times in training. Did you ever win? Nolan goes high, haymaker punch aimed at Thragg's temple. Mark goes low, sweep kick at the knees. Textbook coordination. Thragg taught Mark this exact combination. Thragg blocks Nolan's punch with his forearm, catches Mark's kick with his other hand, holds them both. Predictable. He pulls Mark's leg, swings him like a club into Nolan. They crash together. Thragg releases Mark's leg, grabs Nolan by the throat instead, flies straight down, pile drives him into the street. The impact creates a crater. Nolan's body bounces, lies still. Mark recovers midair, dives at Thragg. Combination strikes, jab, cross, uppercut, each one executed with perfect technique. Thragg blocks the first 2, lets the uppercut land. Mark's fist connects with Thragg's jaw. The Grand Regent's head rocks back. 1 inch, returns to center. Thragg spits blood, looks at it on the pavement, then at Mark. You drew blood. That's new, but insufficient. He grabs Mark by the face, fingers digging into his skull, flies upward, accelerating hard. They punch through cloud layer in seconds. 40,000 feet, 60,000. The air is non-existent. Temperature is killing. Mark's lungs burn. Thragg stops, holds Mark at arm's length. Do you know why I chose you? Why I invested 15 years when I could have simply eliminated you? Mark claws at Thragg's hand. Can't break the grip. Because of the bloodline, Argol's heir. Partially. But there was another reason. Thragg's grip tightens. You were 3 years old, uncorrupted, a blank slate. I could shape you into perfection. No human contamination, no sentiment, pure Viltrumite excellence. His eyes bore into Mark's. But I was wrong. The human disease runs deeper than I calculated. Even 15 years of conditioning couldn't purge it completely. Mark's vision is blurring, hypoxia, cold, pain. I followed every order, every protocol, until today, until she spoke to you. Thragg glances down at Earth, at Debbie's distant form. One human female with no power, no threat, and she broke 15 years of my work with words, sentiment, weakness. He pulls Mark closer. I failed you, or you failed me. Either way, the result is the same. You are defective, contaminated, irredeemable. Then why not kill me now? Thragg's expression shifts. Not quite a smile, something colder, because I want you to watch first. Watch what happens when you choose sentiment over duty. He dives. They plummet together, terminal velocity, beyond. Mark tries to break free, can't. Thragg's grip is absolute. They're aimed directly at Debbie. Nolan sees it from the crater, sees the trajectory, sees where they're going, forces himself up despite the pain, despite the broken ribs, despite everything. He flies, intercepts, catches Mark and Thragg 100 feet from impact. The collision sends all three tumbling. They crash into a parking structure. The building collapses. Debbie runs, finally self-preservation overriding everything else. She makes it half a block before the structure comes down. Dust clouds the air, smoke, screaming metal. Thragg emerges first. Unscathed, he scans the rubble, spots Debbie running, starts walking toward her with measured, purposeful steps. Mark pulls himself from the debris, sees Thragg, sees his mother, calculates the distance, the speed, the time. Insufficient. He flies anyway, closes the gap, gets between them, spreads his arms, blocking Thragg's path. Blood runs down his face. His left arm hangs wrong. His breathing is labored. No. No. Mark, this is your final chance. Step aside. Embrace what you were trained to be. I will forgive this lapse. We will kill her together. Kill the traitor. Complete the mission. You will remain my weapon, my heir. Mark's hands shake. His tactical processor is screaming. Accept. Survive. Protocol demands obedience. But something else is screaming louder. I don't want to be your weapon anymore. The words come out broken, raw. Not the mechanical voice Thragg trained into him. Something else, something human. Thragg's face hardens. Then you choose death. I choose them. Mark's voice is stronger now. I choose my family. I choose. Drives the air from his lungs, collapses his diaphragm. Mark doubles over, gasping. Thragg follows up. Combination strikes to the head, the ribs, the spine. Each one precisely placed, each one designed for maximum damage. Mark's blocks are desperate, sloppy. He's taking serious damage now. A knee to the face shatters Mark's nose. Blood explodes across his face. His vision whites out. Thragg grabs him by the throat. You had potential. I mourned its waste. He squeezes. But sentiment is a cancer. Better to cut it out than let it spread. Mark's hands grip Thragg's wrist. Tries to break the hold. Can't. His oxygen is cut off, consciousness fading. Through the haze, he sees Debbie. She's stopped running, turned around, watching her son die. And she's crying. Real tears, real grief, real love. Something in Mark's chest, not his heart, something else responds to that. Something the conditioning couldn't touch, couldn't break, couldn't purge. Memory. Not tactical data, not training scenarios, real memory. Age 3. The backyard. Before. Small hands reaching for toy planes. Sunshine warm on his face. A woman's voice. Soft, safe, singing something about twinkle, twinkle, little stars. Gentle hands lifting him. A kiss on his forehead. My beautiful boy, my Mark. The sensation of being held. Protected. Loved unconditionally. The memory is fragmentary. Incomplete. But real. The memory slams into Mark's consciousness like a freight train. His eyes snap open, wide, aware. For the first time in 15 years, Mark Grayson feels something that isn't tactical assessment or combat protocol or mission parameters. He feels rage. Not Thragg's cold, calculated fury, not the controlled aggression of a trained weapon, but human rage. The rage of a stolen childhood, a stolen life, a stolen self. His hands, still gripping Thragg's wrist, tighten. Thragg's eyes widen fractionally. What? Mark roars. The sound is primal, inhuman and human simultaneously. Pure catharsis. 15 years of suppressed emotion forcing its way out in one explosive moment. His grip breaks Thragg's hold. The Grand Regent's wrist bones actually crack. Audible. Impossible. Mark's strength is spiking, not a power-up, not a convenient boost. Just adrenaline and rage and desperate survival instinct pushing Viltrumite physiology past its normal limits. Mark drives his forehead into Thragg's face. The impact breaks both their noses. Blood sprays. Thragg staggers back, actually staggers for the first time in decades. Mark follows. No technique now. No training, just raw, furious violence. Punches Thragg's face, again, again, again. Each hit landing with wet, meaty sounds. Thragg recovers, blocks the next punch, counters with a body blow that cracks 3 of Mark's ribs. Mark doesn't even slow down. The pain is distant, irrelevant. He's beyond pain now, beyond training, beyond everything Thragg taught him. He's fighting for something, not for mission parameters, not for the Empire, for her, for them, for the memory of sunshine and lullabies and unconditional love. They trade blows, vicious, brutal. No defense, just offense. Mark lands 4 hits. Thragg lands 6. Both are bleeding now. Both are damaged. Nolan emerges from the rubble again, sees Mark fighting differently. Sloppy, emotional, desperate. Recognizes it. He's seen humans fight like this, when they're protecting their families, when tactics don't matter anymore, when it's just will versus will. Nolan joins the fight. Together they press Thragg. It's not coordinated, it's chaos. But it's overwhelming. Thragg is defending against 2 opponents who aren't following predictable patterns, who aren't using technique, who are just attacking. Thragg's fist catches Nolan's jaw, sends him spinning. But while Thragg is focused on Nolan, Mark hits him from the side, drives his elbow into Thragg's kidney. The Grand Regent grunts, actual pain vocalization. Thragg spins, grabs Mark's throat. Mark grabs Thragg's throat simultaneously. They squeeze, both trying to crush windpipes that won't crush. Their faces are inches apart, both covered in blood, both breathing hard. You cannot win, Thragg says through gritted teeth. I am superior in every measurable category. Strength, speed, experience, technique. Then why am I still standing? Mark's voice is raw, damaged, but defiant. Because you are too stupid to know when you are beaten. No. Mark's grip tightens. Because I have something to fight for. You're just fighting because it's all you know how to do. Thragg's eyes flash. Sentiment is not strength. It is weakness wearing a mask. Then why does it scare you so much? The question lands. Mark sees it, a flicker in Thragg's eyes. Uncertainty, doubt, the briefest crack in absolute certainty. Thragg has spent 50 years being the strongest, the best, the perfect Viltrumite ideal. And this half-breed hybrid, this defective weapon, this child is questioning the only truth Thragg has ever known. It enrages him. Thragg releases Mark's throat, grabs his head with both hands, starts to twist, the execution grip Mark has seen performed 100 times, has performed himself on Lucan at age 14. But Nolan is there, crashes into Thragg from behind, locks his arms around the Grand Regent's torso. Mark, his spine while I hold him. Mark doesn't think, acts, drives his fist into Thragg's lower back. The same strike Thragg used on Nolan 15 years ago. The same strike that shattered vertebrae and left Nolan broken in a crater. The punch lands. Thragg's spine fractures. Not enough to paralyze, not enough to kill, but enough to hurt, enough to damage, enough to prove he's not invincible. Thragg's roar shakes buildings. He breaks Nolan's hold, throws him off, spins on Mark with murder in his eyes. You dare strike me, you dare? He attacks with everything, no holding back, no teaching moment, just pure, furious intent to kill. Mark tries to defend, can't. Thragg is faster now, stronger, angrier. Each hit is devastating. Mark's left arm breaks, his jaw dislocates, his ribs shatter, he's losing, dying. But he's not alone. Nolan is back, taking hits for Mark, positioning himself as a shield, getting battered, broken, destroyed, but buying time, buying seconds. And those seconds matter because Debbie is screaming. Not in fear, in rage, at Thragg, at what he's doing to her family. Stop! Stop hurting them! Thragg pauses, looks at her. This tiny human female who keeps interfering, who keeps contaminating his weapon with her presence. He makes a decision, breaks off from Mark and Nolan, flies directly at Debbie. She sees him coming, tries to run, too slow. Human speed, meaningless. Thragg's hand reaches for her throat. Mark appears, not flying, falling. His body is broken, wings barely functioning. But he's between them. One more time. Thragg's hand closes on Mark's throat instead, lifts him, they're face to face. Let her go, Mark gasps. Please, she's not part of this. She's just my mom. That is precisely why she must die, because she is your weakness, your vulnerability, your human disease. His grip tightens. I will show you what sentiment costs. His other hand reaches past Mark toward Debbie. Mark's broken arm shoots out, catches Thragg's wrist, stops it somehow, impossibly, with strength that shouldn't exist in his damaged state. No, Thragg's eyes narrow. Release me. No, you cannot stop me. You are broken, defeated, dead already, and too stupid to realize it. Mark's grip doesn't loosen. Blood runs from his mouth. His vision is fading, but his hand holds firm. Then kill me, but you're not touching her. For a long moment, Thragg stares at this defective weapon, this half-breed that refuses to accept reality. And for the first time in 50 years, Thragg doesn't know what to do with the feeling growing in his chest. It's not doubt, not fear, not respect. It's something closer to confusion. How does something so broken keep resisting? How does sentiment provide strength when all logic says it should provide weakness? Thragg doesn't understand, and what he doesn't understand, he destroys. He tightens his grip, prepares to crush Mark's windpipe. End this. Prove his point. But before he can, Nolan's arms wrap around his throat from behind, choking him. Not enough to stop him, but enough to distract. Mark, Nolan screams. Run, take your mother and run. Mark looks at Debbie, at his mother, this woman he doesn't remember but somehow knows. He makes a choice, breaks Thragg's grip with both hands, grabs his mother, flies. Not far, just to safety. Sets her down behind cover. Her hands touch his face. You saved me, she whispers. I don't know why, Mark says honestly. I should have let him, the training says, but I couldn't. Because you love me, even if you don't remember. Love doesn't need memory. Mark stares at her. Processing, the word love feels foreign, dangerous. Everything he was trained to purge. But also right. Correct in a way his tactical processor can't explain. Behind them, Thragg breaks Nolan's hold, throws him into a building. The structure collapses on impact. Thragg turns, locates Mark and Debbie, starts walking toward them. This ends now, Thragg says. All three of you tonight. You're right, Mark says. Blood drips from his mouth. His body is a map of damage. This does end tonight. No. Mark's voice is raw but certain. I accept life, my choice. Not yours. Nolan pulls himself from the rubble, stands beside Mark. Father and son, broken but standing. Thragg looks at them, at Debbie behind them, at this family that refuses to break. His face hardens into absolute resolve. Then die together. He hits Nolan first, the weaker target, the broken soldier. Drives his fist through Nolan's guard like it's paper. The impact lifts Nolan off his feet, sends him tumbling across Michigan Avenue. He crashes through a storefront, through the back wall, into the building beyond. Mark moves to intercept, too slow, damaged. His broken ribs grind with every movement. His shattered arm hangs useless. Thragg pivots mid-charge, catches Mark with a backhand that snaps his head sideways. Mark's vision explodes into white. He tastes copper, feels teeth loosen. Pathetic. Thragg grabs Mark by the collar, lifts him. 15 years of training, thousands of hours of combat conditioning, and you fight like an untrained child throwing a tantrum. Mark spits blood in his face. Thragg doesn't even blink, just wipes it away calmly. Juvenile, emotional, weak, he throws Mark straight down. Mark hits the pavement crater first. The impact fractures his left femur. His scapula cracks, pain floods his nervous system. His Viltrumite healing is working. He can feel bones starting to knit. But too slowly, the damage is accumulating faster than he can repair. Thragg descends, lands beside Mark's broken body, plants his boot on Mark's chest, applies pressure. Mark's already broken ribs flex, threaten to puncture organs. "Look at me." Thragg's voice is clinical. "Cold. I invested 15 years into you, shaped you, perfected you. And what did you become? Not a weapon, not an heir, just another sentimental failure contaminated by human disease." Mark's good hand grabs Thragg's boot, tries to push it off. Might as well be moving a planet. "You could have been magnificent," Thragg continues. "The perfect synthesis of Argol's bloodline and my training. Instead, you chose weakness, chose them." He glances toward Debbie's hiding spot. "I should kill her slowly, make you watch. Let you experience the cost of your choice." "Don't," Mark gasps. The pressure on his chest is crushing. "Please," begging. How appropriate. Thragg increases the pressure. Mark's sternum cracks. This is what sentiment earns you. Pain, suffering, watching those you care about die while you lie broken and helpless. A blur from the side, Nolan, bleeding, limping, barely conscious, tackles Thragg off Mark. They crash through a parked semi-truck. The vehicle crumples around them like aluminum foil. Nolan is on top, throwing desperate punches. Most miss. Some land, none do meaningful damage. Thragg catches Nolan's fist mid-swing. Still fighting. Admirable, pointless, but admirable. He headbutts Nolan once, twice, 3 times. Nolan's face becomes a mask of blood. Thragg stands, holding Nolan by the throat. "You were a promising soldier once, before Earth, before her, before you contaminated yourself with attachment." He starts walking toward where Debbie is hiding, dragging Nolan. "Let me show you what attachment costs." Mark forces himself up. Everything screams at him to stay down. His tactical processor floods with damage reports. Critical structural failure. Multipole organ damage. Combat effectiveness, 23%. Survival probability, declining. He stands anyway, limps forward on his broken leg. His useless arm hangs. Blood runs from his mouth, his nose, his ears. He's held together by Viltrumite healing and pure stubborn will. "Thragg." Mark's voice is rough, damaged. "Let him go. You should be unconscious. Shock, blood loss, compound fractures. By every tactical measure, you should be incapacitated." "I've had worse." Mark takes another step. His broken leg almost gives out. He forces it to hold. "Training, remember? You taught me to fight through anything. I taught you technique, strategy, efficiency." Thragg's eyes narrow. "This is not technique. This is stupidity. Throwing yourself at an unwinnable battle because of sentiment." "Maybe." Mark's good hand clenches into a fist. "But I'm still standing, and you're still afraid." Thragg's grip on Nolan's throat tightens. Nolan gasps, claws at the hand. "Afraid? Of what? A broken weapon?" "Of what I represent." Mark spits blood. "Proof that your way isn't the only way. That sentiment doesn't always equal weakness. That everything you've believed for 50 years might be wrong. I will prove you wrong. By breaking every bone in your body. Then hers, then his. You will watch them die knowing your sentiment accomplished nothing except pain." He throws Nolan aside. The old soldier hits a concrete barrier, collapses in a heap. Thragg walks toward Mark with measured, purposeful steps. "Last lesson, Mark. Pay attention. This is what happens when weapons develop feelings." Mark shifts his weight to his good leg, raises his functional arm in guard position. His tactical processor is screaming at him. "Retreat! Survival probability at 0. Mission failure inevitable." But there's another voice now, quieter, human, saying something different. "Protect them, whatever it costs." Thragg attacks. His first punch is aimed at Mark's head, killing blow. Mark ducks under it, feels the displaced air ruffle his hair. Counters with a body shot. His fist hits Thragg's ribs, lands clean. Does nothing. Thragg's knee comes up, catches Mark's broken ribs. The impact is agony. Mark's vision whites out. He stumbles back. Thragg follows. Combination strikes, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, all aimed at Mark's head. Mark blocks the first with his forearm. The bone cracks. Blocks the second with his shoulder. Dislocates again. Can't block the third. The hook catches his temple. His brain rattles in his skull. He goes down. Thragg stands over him. Technique is not enough. Will is not enough. Sentiment is definitely not enough. He kicks Mark's broken leg. The femur fracture spreads. Only power, and you have neither. Mark tries to rise. His body won't respond. His healing is overwhelmed. Too much damage. Too fast. Thragg's boot presses down on Mark's chest. Any last words? Some sentimental declaration? A final defiance? Mark looks past him, at Debbie, watching from behind cover. Her face is streaked with tears, hands pressed against her mouth. Their eyes meet, and Mark remembers something else. Not from training, from before, from that buried memory. A woman's voice, soft, safe, singing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." The memory is fragmentary, incomplete, but enough. Mark's lips move, blood bubbles out, he's trying to speak. Thragg leans down. "What? Used to. Sing to me." Mark's voice is barely a whisper. "When I was scared of the dark, she'd sing about stars." Pathetic. Human nonsense. Maybe. Mark's good hand moves, slow, weak. But it was mine, my life, my memory. And you can't take it back. Thragg's expression shifts, not to anger, to something colder, disappointment. "You had potential. I see it now. My error was not in your training, it was in your selection. The human contamination ran too deep, started too early. You were never going to be pure Viltrumite. You were always going to be this, weak, sentimental, broken." He raises his fist. "I'm ending my experiment permanently." The fist descends. Nolan's body interposes. He's barely conscious. Moving on pure instinct, throws himself over Mark, shields him with his own body. Thragg's fist punches through Nolan's back, out through his chest. Blood sprays. Nolan gasps, coughs red. Mark's eyes go wide. Dad. Not tactical designation, not Nolan Grayson or the traitor. Just Dad. Nolan's hand touches Mark's face, leaves a bloody handprint. "Run. Take your mother, run." Thragg pulls his fist out of Nolan's torso. The hole is massive, fatal. Nolan collapses beside Mark, touching. Thragg examines the blood on his hand. The weak protecting the weaker. Natural order asserts itself. He looks at Mark. "You're next. Then the female. Then I raise this planet to ash as punishment for corrupting Viltrumite genetics." Mark's hand grabs Nolan's, holds it, feels it going cold. His tactical processor is silent now. No damage reports, no survival calculations, just emptiness. And then rage. Not the explosive fury from before, something deeper, colder, absolute. Mark's eyes, previously conflicted, confused, uncertain, go flat, empty. But not the programmed emptiness Thragg created. Something else, something darker. He stands. Thragg actually takes a step back. "You should be not broken, crystallized, hardened." His fist catches Thragg's jaw. The impact actually rocks the Grand Regent's head back. Mark follows up, left elbow despite the broken arm, right knee despite the fractured femur, headbutt despite the concussion. Each strike is accompanied by wet, meaty sounds. Thragg blocks, counters, hits Mark 3 times for every 1 Mark lands. Mark doesn't care, doesn't feel it, just keeps attacking. They crash through buildings, through streets, through anything in their path. The fight is no longer technique versus power. It's just violence, mutual, absolute. Thragg drives his fist into Mark's abdomen, perforates his stomach. Mark grabs Thragg's arm, the one inside him, holds it there, punches Thragg's face with his free hand. "What are you doing?" Thragg tries to pull his arm out. Mark's grip holds. "Impossible. Release me." "No." Mark's voice is wrong, hollow. "You took everything, my childhood, my memories, my life." He punches again. Breaks Thragg's nose. "You don't get to just kill him and walk away." He headbutts Thragg, their skulls crack together. Both fracture, neither stops. Thragg finally tears his arm free. Mark's intestines partially exit the wound. He doesn't even look down, just keeps attacking. "You're dead already," Thragg says. Blood runs from his mouth. First time Mark has seen him actually injured. "Your organs are failing. Your blood loss is catastrophic. You have minutes at most." "Then I'll use them." They collide again. The impacts create shockwaves. Windows shatter for miles. The ground cracks. Debbie is running now, toward them, toward her dying family. Mark, stop! You're killing yourself. Doesn't respond, can't stop. If he stops, Thragg wins. If Thragg wins, she dies. Thragg sees the distraction, capitalizes, grabs Mark's broken arm, the useless one, and twists. The humerus shatters completely. Bone fragments pierce skin. Mark's scream is inhuman. Thragg follows up with a knee to the face. Mark's jaw breaks. Teeth scatter. He drops to one knee. Thragg stands over him. It's over. You fought well. Better than expected, given your damage. But biology has limits. You've reached yours. He grabs Mark's head with both hands. Starts to twist. The execution grip. Final. Mark's good hand shoots up, grabs Thragg's wrist, stops the twist. Barely, his grip is weakening. Blood loss. Shock. Organ failure. Still resisting, Thragg observes. Admirable. Futile, but admirable. Mark's eyes lock on Thragg's. Blood runs from his mouth when he speaks. You're wrong about sentiment. No, I'm not. You are. Mark's grip tightens. Impossibly, because I'm still fighting. Not because of duty, not because of orders. He pulls Thragg closer, close enough to whisper, because of love. The word hits Thragg like a physical blow. His expression shifts, confusion, disgust, and something else. Something that might be fear. Because that word represents everything he's spent 50 years trying to purge. Everything he believes makes Viltrumites weak. Everything he's certain is disease and corruption. And this broken, dying weapon just used it as armor. Mark's other hand, the shattered one that shouldn't work, moves, grabs Thragg's other wrist. Now both of Thragg's hands are held, locked in place by a fighter who should be dead. Impossible, Thragg says. Your injuries? You can't possibly, and headbutts him with everything he has left. The impact is cataclysmic. Both their skulls fracture. Blood explodes between them. They separate. Stagger. Thragg recovers first. He's less damaged, more experienced, stronger, but Mark is still standing, barely, swaying, held together by nothing but will and rage, and that word he just spoke. But standing, you should be dead, Thragg says, probably. Mark spits blood, broken teeth, but I'm not, because she's watching. And he died, protecting me. And I'm not going to waste that. Thragg's eyes narrow. Then I'll kill you properly this time, he charges. Mark doesn't have the strength to dodge, can barely lift his arms to block. Thragg's fist is aimed at Mark's heart. Killing blow, final. And then Nolan is there. Shouldn't be. The hole in his chest should have killed him. Should have bled him out, but Viltrumite physiology is resilient, especially when motivated by love. He grabs Thragg's striking arm, diverts it. The punch misses Mark by inches. Thragg spins. You're dead. That wound is fatal, but not yet. His arms wrap around Thragg. Bear hug, crushing, trapping. Mark, Nolan screams. Blood pours from his mouth. Now, his spine, where I'm holding him. Mark sees it. The opening. Thragg's lower back exposed. The same spot Mark hit before. Already damaged. Already fractured. If he hits it again, hits it hard enough, maybe. Mark's body is failing. His vision is tunneling. His organs are shutting down. He attacks anyway. Flies forward. Not graceful, not controlled. Just momentum and desperation. His good fist cocked back. Thragg sees it coming. Tries to break Nolan's hold. Can't. Nolan's grip is absolute. Final. The grip of a dying man with nothing left to lose. Mark's fist connects with Thragg's spine. The impact is everything Mark has left. Every ounce of strength. Every fragment of will. Every broken piece of his body channeled into one strike. Thragg's spine shatters. The vertebrae don't just crack, they pulverize. The spinal cord severs. Completely, irreparably. Thragg's eyes go wide. His legs stop working. He drops. Nolan releases him, falls backward, lies still. Thragg is on the ground, paralyzed from the waist down. His upper body still functions, his arms still work, but he can't stand, can't fly. For the first time in 50 years, the Grand Regent is grounded. Mark collapses beside him. Can't stand either. They lie there, Weapon and creator, student and teacher, both broken. This isn't possible, Thragg's voice is strained. You're inferior, weaker, you shouldn't have won. Mark turns his head, looks at Thragg. I didn't win. We did. Me. Him. Her. That's the difference between us. You fight alone. I don't have to. Thragg's fists pound the pavement. Frustration, rage, disbelief. Sentiment is weakness. The data proves it. The doctrine demands it. You should have died. But I didn't. Mark's voice is fading. Blood loss. Organ failure. Because love isn't weakness. It's what makes the dying keep fighting. Debbie reaches them, drops to her knees beside Mark. Her hands touch his face. Baby. Oh God, Mark, stay with me. Stay awake. I'm here, she's crying, smiling. I'm right here, baby. I remember. Mark's voice is a whisper. Zoom, zoom, the blanket. You singing, twinkle stars. Yes, yes, that's right. You remember. Not all of it, but some. Enough. His eyes are closing. Is Dad? Debbie looks at Nolan. He's not moving. The hole in his chest is catastrophic. He's hurt. But, liar. Mark's lips twitch. Almost a smile. He's dying. Used his last strength. To save me, Mark. Don't. Stay awake. Help is coming. Tell him thank you for being my dad. Mark's eyes close. Even though I don't remember most of it, thank you. His body goes limp. Debbie screams his name, shakes him. No response. Thragg watches this, paralyzed, broken, defeated. And for the first time, he understands what he destroyed 15 years ago. Not just a weapon, a family. Emergency sirens wail across Chicago. Ambulances, fire trucks, military transports, they swarm Michigan Avenue like ants on a carcass. GDA tactical teams establish perimeters. Paramedics run toward the bodies. So many bodies. Trying to find someone, anyone, still breathing. Debbie kneels in the rubble, holding Mark's limp form. His chest is still. No rise, no fall. Blood pools beneath them both. No, no, no. Her hands press against his face, his neck, searching for a pulse. Mark, please. Baby, please wake up. Please. A paramedic reaches her, young, terrified. Ma'am, we need to help him. Debbie's scream is primal. He's not breathing. Do something. The paramedic sees Mark's injuries, the compound fractures, the abdominal wound, the catastrophic blood loss. His training says this one's already gone. But Debbie's face makes him try anyway. He places his fingers on Mark's carotid. Waits. Nothing. Tries again, still nothing. Ma'am, I'm sorry. He's faint, irregular, but there. I've got something. Barely. Get a stretcher over here, now. More paramedics arrive. They lift Mark carefully. Debbie won't let go of his hand. They don't make her. They load him into an ambulance. Debbie climbs in beside him. A paramedic starts an IV, difficult. Mark's veins are collapsing, while another applies pressure to the abdominal wound. What is he? The paramedic stares at Mark's physiology. These injuries should be fatal, multiple times over. But he's still. He's Viltrumite, Debbie says. Doesn't care about secrets anymore. Half Viltrumite. His biology is different. He can survive this. He has to survive this. Behind them, another team reaches Nolan. He's on his back, staring at the sky. The hole in his chest is massive, diameter of a fist, straight through. Heart visible. Still beating. Somehow, a paramedic leans over him. Sir, can you hear me? Nolan's eyes move. Focus. Mark, my son, is he? They're taking him to the hospital. Sir, you need to stay still. Your injuries, just tell me, did we stop him? The paramedic looks past Nolan, at Thragg, lying 20 feet away, paralyzed, surrounded by GDA soldiers with high-caliber weapons trained on him. Yeah, you stopped him. Almost a smile. Good, that's good. His eyes close. We're losing him. Get him loaded now. They lift Nolan onto a stretcher, rush him toward the second ambulance. His vitals are crashing, blood pressure dropping, heart rhythm irregular. The paramedic in charge makes the call, notify the hospital, 2 incoming trauma cases, injuries incompatible with life, prep for miracles or body bags. Thragg lies in the rubble. Can't move his legs, can't fly. Can't do anything except lie there like discarded waste. GDA soldiers surround him, 30 guns pointed at his head. Cecil Stedman approaches, stepping over debris, cigar between his teeth. Well, Cecil looks down at the Grand Regent of the Viltrumite Empire. This is unexpected. Execute me. Prove you're not completely pathetic. Oh, I'm going to do so much worse than kill you. Cecil gestures. Soldiers move in with specialized restraints. Viltrumite-grade alloy, designed specifically for this scenario. They clamp around Thragg's wrists, ankles, neck. Each restraint hums with sonic emitters. Thragg tries to break them. Can't. The sonic frequency disrupts his muscle control, makes his arms shake, weakens his remaining strength. We've been developing anti-Viltrumite technology for 15 years, Cecil says. Ever since Nolan's betrayal, ever since we realized the Empire might come for us. He crouches beside Thragg. You just gave us the perfect test subject. I will heal. This paralysis is temporary. Viltrumite spinal cords regenerate. Not if we keep breaking it. Cecil's smile is cold. You're going to spend the rest of your very long life in a very small cell. And every time your spine starts to heal, we're going to break it again. Over and over. Forever. I am the Grand Regent. The Empire is about to have bigger problems than one captured regent. Cecil stands. Because the kid you tried to kill? The weapon you spent 15 years creating? He's about to become Earth's biggest asset, and there's nothing you can do about it except watch. Soldiers lift Thragg's paralyzed body, load him into an armored transport. He's still conscious, still aware, still processing the magnitude of his failure. As the doors close, his last view is of Chicago, the city he failed to conquer, the planet that defeated him. The transport drives away. GDA medical facility. 18 hours later, Mark opens his eyes. The ceiling is white, sterile. Medical equipment beeps around him. IV tubes run into his arms. Bandages cover most of his torso. He tries to move. Pain explodes through every nerve. He gasps. Easy. A voice beside him. Familiar. Don't try to sit up. You're held together by surgical staples and prayer. Mark's head turns. Slowly. Every movement is agony. Debbie sits in a chair beside his bed. She looks exhausted, eyes red from crying. But she's smiling. Mom. The word comes out naturally now. No confusion, no tactical designation, just Mom. Her smile widens. Tears start fresh. Yeah, baby, I'm here. I've been here since they brought you in. How long? 18 hours. They had to reconstruct your intestines, set 14 fractures, repair 3 ruptured organs. Her hand touches his, gently. The doctor said you shouldn't be alive, that your injuries were statistically unsurvivable. Viltrumite, healing. Mark's voice is rough. Takes time, but works. They're calling you a miracle. The medical staff can't figure out how your physiology works. Debbie squeezes his hand. But I don't care. You're alive. That's all that matters. Dad, where's... Debbie's expression shifts. Sadness, relief, complicated emotions. He's alive. Down the hall, they had to put him in a medically induced coma while his chest wound heals. The doctor said... Her voice breaks. They said normal human physiology would have died instantly from that injury. But he's Viltrumite. He's holding on. Can I see him? Not yet. You need to heal more first. Moving could tear your internal sutures. She brushes hair from his forehead. He saved your life, Mark. Used his last strength to give you an opening. He's a hero. Your father is a hero. Mark's eyes close, processing. I called him Dad during the fight. I didn't mean to. It just came out. I know. I heard. Debbie's crying again, happy tears. You're remembering, not everything, but pieces. That's more than I hoped for. The memories are, Mark struggles to explain, fractured, incomplete, like looking through broken glass. But they're there, you singing, the blanket, the backyard, fragments. We'll build on those fragments, take our time, no pressure. She leans closer. I know you spent 15 years being Thragg's weapon. I know he broke you and rebuilt you and tried to erase us. But you're free now. You get to decide who you are. Mark's eyes open. I killed people. The Guardians. They were protecting Earth, and I murdered them. I know. I would have killed Dad, you, everyone. If you hadn't stopped me, and you fought back, you chose us. Debbie's voice is firm. What you did while you were Thragg's prisoner doesn't define you. What matters is what you do now, going forward. Mark stares at the ceiling. I don't know how to go forward. Thragg's programming is still there. The conditioning, the tactical assessments, the urge to obey orders. He looks at her. What if I can't be normal? What if I'm too broken? Then you'll be broken. Debbie smiles through tears. And we'll love you anyway, because that's what family does. Cecil Stedman enters, followed by 2 GDA agents. He stops at the foot of Mark's bed. Mr. Grayson, good to see you conscious. Tactical assessment activating automatically. Cecil Stedman, Director, Global Defense Agency. Threat level, human but dangerous, resours and authority significant. I'm not a threat, Mark says, forcing the words, fighting the conditioning. I won't hurt anyone, not anymore. I know. Cecil lights a cigar. Against hospital policy. He doesn't care, because if you were a threat, we'd have put a bullet in your brain while you were unconscious. Had multiple opportunities, didn't take them. Debbie stands. Get out, he just woke up. He doesn't need. Actually, he does. Cecil's expression is serious, because the world just watched him murder 7 heroes on live television. Watched him threaten to exterminate 1,000 people per minute. Watched him fight alongside a Viltrumite invasion force. And now they want answers. Mark's jaw clenches. What kind of answers? The kind that determine whether you're Earth's greatest asset or its biggest threat. Cecil pulls up a tablet, shows Mark footage, news coverage, social media, government briefings. Half the planet wants you arrested and executed. The other half wants you recruited and weaponized. I need to know which side is right. I don't know, Mark says honestly. I was raised to conquer, trained to kill, conditioned to obey. I don't know if I can be anything else. Then let me make it simple. Cecil leans on the bed rail. Thragg is in custody, paralyzed, contained. But the Viltrumite Empire is still out there. When they realize their Grand Regent is captured, they'll send more, stronger, angrier. His eyes lock on Mark's. You're the only person on this planet with the training, the physiology, and the knowledge to stop them. So here's my question. When they come, which side will you be on? At Debbie, who's spent 15 years waiting for him. Who threw herself between him and Thragg. Who never stopped loving him. Theirs, Mark says, meaning Earth. Meaning his family. I'll fight for Earth. Even against the empire that raised you? Especially against them. Mark's voice is harder now. Certain. Thragg took everything from me. My childhood. My memories. My choice. The empire supported that. Enabled it. Called it training. His fists clench. I'm done being their weapon. If they come here, I'll make them regret it. Then nods. Good enough for now. We'll revisit this conversation when you're healed. He turns to leave. Stops. One more thing. The guardians of the globe, the heroes you killed, they have families, friends, people who loved them. Mark's expression doesn't change. I know. Can you live with that, knowing what you did? No. Mark's voice is quiet. But I'll try, because they deserved better, and I can't change the past. Only the future. Cecil nods. Leaves. Debbie sits back down, takes Mark's hand. He's harsh, but he's fair. He'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I don't deserve a chance. Maybe not. But you're getting one anyway. She squeezes his hand. Because you're my son, and I'm not giving up on you. Ever. Mark's eyes close. Exhausted. Overwhelmed. I don't know how to be your son. Then we'll figure it out together. Debbie's voice is soft. One day at a time. One memory at a time. One choice at a time. What if I make the wrong choice? Then I'll help you make a better one next time. That's what mothers do. Mark falls asleep holding her hand. 3 days later, Mark is allowed to see Nolan. He's in a wheelchair. His legs are healing but not functional yet. A nurse pushes him down the corridor to Nolan's room. Debbie walks beside them. Nolan is awake. Propped up in bed, the hole in his chest is covered by regenerative bandages soaked in Viltrumite medical solution that Cecil somehow acquired. His breathing is labored but steady. Their eyes meet. Father and son, seeing each other clearly for the first time in 15 years. Hey, champ. Nolan's voice is weak but warm. You look like hell. You too. Mark's attempt at humor falls flat. They said you shouldn't be alive. The wound was fatal. Probably. But I had motivation to survive. Nolan tries to smile. Had to make sure you were okay. Mark's jaw tightens. You almost died because of me. Because I was following orders to kill you. But you didn't kill me. You chose differently. Broke through. If you hadn't, Mark looks at his hands. I would have completed my mission. I would have killed you both and conquered Earth, without hesitation. But you didn't, Nolan repeats. Mark, listen to me. What Thragg did to you, that wasn't your fault. You were 3 years old, a child. He stole you, broke you, rebuilt you into something you were never meant to be. I still made choices. I still killed people. Under threat, Nolan's expression is intense. I know what Viltrumite training is like. I know how they break you, make you into a weapon. You survived that, and you still found a way to choose love over duty. That's not weakness. That's the strongest thing I've ever seen. Mark's eyes are wet. I don't remember you. Not really. Just fragments, pieces of a person I used to be. That's okay. We'll make new memories, better ones. Nolan reaches out his hand. Mark takes it. Father and son, connected across 15 years of separation and trauma. I'm sorry, Mark says, for everything, for what I did, for what I was. Stop. Nolan's grip tightens. You have nothing to apologize for. You were a victim, and you fought your way free. That's what matters. They sit in silence. Debbie watches from the doorway, crying quietly. Finally, Mark speaks. What happens now, after we heal? After the world decides whether I'm a threat? Learn each other. Build something new from what Thragg destroyed. And the Empire, when they come? As a family, the way we should have 15 years ago. Mark nods slowly. Together, I like that. Me too, son. Me too. The word, son, settles over Mark like a blanket. Heavy. Warm. Correct. He's not a weapon anymore. Not a prince. Not Thragg's creation. He's Mark Grayson, son of Nolan and Debbie Grayson, half human, half Viltrumite, broken but healing, lost but finding his way home. It's a start. Undisclosed GDA detention facility, deep underground. Thragg hangs in a containment cell. His wrists and ankles are chained to the walls with Viltrumite-grade restraints. Sonic emitters keep his strength suppressed. His legs still don't work. Every time his spine begins to heal, the automated systems break it again. He's been here for 3 days. Alone, in the dark, unable to move, unable to escape, unable to do anything except think about his failure. The weapon he created turned against him, chose sentiment over duty, chose family over empire, and won. Everything Thragg believed for 50 years has been proven wrong by one broken half-breed boy. The cell door opens. Light floods in. A figure silhouettes against it. Cecil Stedman enters, sits in a chair across from Thragg's hanging form. Lights his cigar. Comfortable? About what to do with you, we could execute you. But you're too valuable as a source of intelligence. We could experiment on you, figure out Viltrumite biology, but that seems excessive. He takes a drag. So here's what we're going to do. Nothing. Thragg's eyes narrow slightly. We're going to keep you here, alive, conscious, unable to heal, unable to escape, and we're going to make sure you know every single day that the weapon you created is out there, fighting for Earth, protecting the family you tried to destroy, being everything you taught him not to be. Cecil leans forward. You spent 15 years trying to create the perfect Viltrumite. Instead, you created the perfect defender of humanity, and there's nothing you can do about it except hang here and watch him succeed where you failed. He stands, walks to the door, stops. Welcome to Earth, Grand Regent. Enjoy your stay. It's going to be a very, very long one. The door closes. Darkness returns. Thragg hangs in silence, defeated, broken, obsolete, and for the first time in 50 years he feels something he never thought possible. Fear, not of death, of irrelevance, of being wrong, of watching everything he built crumble because one boy chose love. In the darkness, the Grand Regent of the Viltrumite Empire screams. No one hears. No one cares. 6 weeks later, Mark stands in the GDA training facility, staring at a combat dummy. It's reinforced Viltrumite alloy, designed to withstand superhuman strikes. He's been standing here for 10 minutes, hasn't moved. His body has healed, the fractures mended, the organs repaired, Viltrumite physiology working as designed. Physically, he's operational. Mentally, he's somewhere else. You going to hit it or just stare? Cecil's voice comes through the observation speaker. We didn't build this facility for contemplation. Mark's fist clenches. I'm thinking. About what? about whether I can control it, the violence, the conditioning. Thragg trained me to kill efficiently, to not hesitate, to treat combat as mathematics. Mark looks at his hand. What if I can't turn that off? What if I hurt someone by accident? Hit the dummy. Mark takes a breath, steps forward, throws a punch. The dummy's head explodes. The torso tears free from the mounting. The entire apparatus crashes into the far wall, embedding 3 feet into reinforced concrete. Mark stares at the destruction. I was holding back. I know. That's the problem. Cecil enters the training floor, clipboard in hand. You're afraid of your own strength, afraid you'll lose control. So you're not using any of it. People die because I didn't hold back. People will die if you hold back too much. Cecil stops beside the wreckage. The Guardians died because Thragg programmed you to kill them. That's different from using your strength to protect people. You train, you learn control through repetition, not avoidance. Cecil gestures to the facility. We've got 50 more dummies. Start over. This time, try not to obliterate it. Mark spends the next 3 hours hitting practice targets, learning to modulate force, to strike hard enough to disable, not kill, to use precision instead of overwhelming power. It's harder than any training Thragg ever gave him, because Thragg's training was simple. Destroy everything. Cecil's training requires restraint, discrimination, choice. Mark is exhausted by the end. Sits on the floor, back against the wall. Debbie enters with a water bottle. How's it going? Slowly. Mark takes the water, drinks. I'm learning, but it feels wrong. Like I'm fighting against 15 years of muscle memory. You are. She sits beside him. But muscle memory can be retrained. Give it time. What if we don't have time? Cecil said. The Empire will respond eventually. When they do, you'll be ready. We'll all be ready. Debbie's voice is firm. You're not alone in this, Mark. Remember that. He nods, too tired to argue. That night, the Grayson house. They've rebuilt it, or tried to. The backyard still has crater scars where Thragg landed 15 years ago, where he landed 6 weeks ago. The house itself is new construction. The old one was condemned after the battle, but it's home, or trying to be. Mark sits at the dinner table. Debbie made pot roast. She says it was his favorite as a child. He doesn't remember. Eats it anyway because it makes her happy. Nolan is there too, out of the hospital finally. Still weak, the chest wound left permanent damage. His stamina is compromised. His flight endurance reduced. He'll never be the fighter he was. He doesn't seem to care. Pass the potatoes? Nolan asks. Mark does. Their hands touch briefly. Neither flinches anymore. They eat in comfortable silence. 3 people learning how to be a family. It's awkward, stilted, but real. I've been thinking, Nolan says carefully, about your training with Cecil. Mark's fork stops halfway to his mouth. What about it? But you need combat training too. Real Viltrumite combat training, not Thragg's version. Mine. You want to train me? Mark sets down his fork. After everything? Not train. Retrain. Show you what Viltrumite combat can be when it's not about domination, when it's about protection. Nolan meets his eyes. You learned how to kill. I want to teach you how to defend. Mark considers this. You're still healing. Your chest is fine for teaching. I don't need to be at full strength to show you technique. Nolan's expression is serious. And honestly, I need this too. Need to feel useful, need to do something other than sit around remembering what I lost. Debbie interjects. Is this safe for either of you? Mark needs to reconcile his Viltrumite half with his human half. And I'm the only person who's done that successfully. Who better to teach him? Mark looks at his father, really looks, sees the sincerity, the hope, the need to rebuild their relationship through the only language they both speak fluently, violence. Okay, Mark says, when do we start? Tomorrow. Dawn. We'll fly somewhere remote. No witnesses, no pressure. Just father and son, working through trauma 1 punch at a time. That's the worst therapy pitch I've ever heard, Debbie says, but she's smiling. The next morning, Utah salt flats. Father and son hover above the white expanse. The sun is rising, painting the sky orange and gold. Nothing for miles except flat earth and open sky. Perfect for what they need to do. First lesson, Nolan begins. Forget everything Thragg taught you about Viltrumite combat. That's 15 years of training. I know. But Thragg's method is about domination, efficiency, killing. My method is about something different. Nolan moves through a basic stance. Protection. When you fight to protect, you're not trying to destroy your opponent. You're trying to stop them, disable them, remove the threat without unnecessary death. That sounds slower, less efficient. It is, but efficiency isn't always the goal. Sometimes the goal is minimizing harm. To your enemy, to yourself, to the people around you. Nolan shifts position. Show me Thragg's opening strike sequence. Mark demonstrates. 3-strike combination, throat, solar plexus, temple. Designed to kill in under 2 seconds. The movements are perfect, flawless, Nolan nods. Good technique. Now watch mine. Just effective. Your version takes longer, Mark observes. By half a second. But my opponent lives. Can be questioned, can change, can be arrested instead of buried. Nolan resets his stance. Now you try. Show me you can hit to disable, not kill. Mark attempts the sequence. His muscle memory fights him. His hands want to go for lethal targets. He forces them to adjust. Hits the shoulder too hard, breaks it. Hits the knee wrong, shatters the kneecap. Too much force, Nolan says. You're still thinking in terms of overwhelming power. Think surgical precision. Enough damage to stop them, not destroy them. They practice for an hour. Mark slowly learning to recalibrate, to fight with restraint, to choose damage level consciously instead of defaulting to maximum. It's exhausting, not physically, mentally. Every strike requires active choice, active thought, active resistance against his conditioning. They take a break, sit on the salt flats, watching the sun climb. This is harder than Thragg's training, Mark admits. Good. Nolan hands him a water bottle. Thragg's training was about turning off your humanity, making decisions automatic. This training is about turning your humanity back on, keeping it on even in combat. What if I can't? What if when the fighting starts, I revert to Thragg's programming? Then you'll catch yourself and adjust. That's what training is for. Nolan looks at his son. Mark, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, hurt people you didn't mean to hurt. Use too much force sometimes. That's inevitable when you're as strong as we are. It's meant to be honest. Nolan's voice is serious. You spent 15 years as Thragg's weapon. It's going to take years, maybe decades, to fully undo that conditioning. But you're trying. That's what matters. You're choosing to be better than what he made you. Mark stares at the horizon. The Guardians. The ones I killed. Do they have families? Yes. Do they know about me? About what I did? The world knows. It was broadcast. Nolan's expression is pained. Some want you executed. Some want you imprisoned. Some understand you were a victim too. What do you think I should do? I think you should face them. The families. Let them see you. Let them say what they need to say. Let them hurt you if they need to hurt you. Own what you did, even if you weren't fully in control. But it might start the healing. For them and for you. Nolan stands, offers his hand. But first, you finish your training. Learn to be the protector you were meant to be instead of the weapon Thragg made you. Then you face the consequences. In that order. Mark takes his father's hand. Stands. They train for another hour. Then another. By noon, Mark is starting to internalize the differences. Starting to choose protection over destruction. It's a beginning. That afternoon, undisclosed location. Mark stands outside a modest suburban house. Cleveland. Working-class neighborhood, the home of Red Rush's family. Debbie is beside him. Moral support. Nolan offered to come, but Mark said no. This is his responsibility, his consequence. You don't have to do this today, Debbie says gently. You could wait. Give yourself more time. I've waited 6 weeks. That's already too long. Mark walks to the door, rings the bell. A woman answers. Late 30s, red hair, eyes that immediately harden when she sees Mark. You. Her voice is cold. You have a lot of nerve coming here. I know, I'm sorry. I just wanted... What? Forgiveness? Absolution. Her hand grips the doorframe. You murdered my husband. On live television. In front of millions of people. In front of our children. Mark's jaw tightens. I know. And I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for the chance to explain. Explain what? That you were following orders? That you were conditioned? That you didn't have a choice? Her voice rises. He was a hero. He protected people. He saved lives. And you crushed his skull like it was nothing. You're right. He was a hero, and I killed him. And I have to live with that. Mark's voice is steady, but I wanted you to know that I'm trying to be better than what I was. to honor what he stood for, to protect instead of destroy. You think that makes a difference? You think protecting people now erases what you did? No, it doesn't erase anything. But it's all I can offer. My life, my service, my commitment to never be that person again. She stares at him, tears forming. Get off my property, and don't come back, ma'am. Get out. She slams the door. Mark stands there for a long moment, then turns, walks back to Debbie. That went as expected, he says quietly. She's grieving. She's angry. That's normal. Debbie takes his arm. You did the right thing, facing her, owning what you did. Even if she couldn't hear it, there are 6 more families. Then we'll visit them too, as many times as it takes, until they're ready to hear you. They walk away. Mark's shoulders are heavy, but he's not running, not hiding, facing consequences. One family at a time. 2 weeks later, GDA headquarters, council chamber. Mark stands before an assembly, the United Nations Security Council. Joint Chiefs of Staff, representatives from every major nation, Cecil Stedman, surviving members of Earth's superhero community. They're here to decide his fate. A general speaks first. Mr. Grayson, you've been granted conditional freedom for the past 8 weeks while recovering from your injuries and undergoing psychological evaluation. The question before us now is simple. Are you an asset or a threat? Mark stands at attention. I understand the question, sir, and I can't answer it with certainty. I was trained to be a threat. Conditioned to kill, that programming doesn't just disappear. You shouldn't, not yet. Mark's voice is firm. Trust has to be earned. I'm asking for the opportunity to earn it, to prove through actions, not words, that I can be more than what Thragg made me. A diplomat from China speaks. You killed 7 of Earth's defenders. You threatened mass extermination. The world watched you brutalize heroes on live television. How do you propose to earn trust after that? By doing what they did, protecting people, fighting threats, putting myself between danger and innocence. Mark meets their eyes. And by being transparent, I'm not asking for blind faith. Monitor me, track me, put restrictions on my movements. Whatever you need to feel secure, I'll comply. Cecil speaks up. I've reviewed the psychological evaluations. Mark is cooperating fully. He's undergoing deprogramming therapy, learning to manage his conditioning, and he's shown genuine remorse for his actions. He looks at Mark. He's also the only person on Earth with the knowledge and strength to face future Viltrumite threats. We can't afford to waste that resource. Resource? The Russian representative scoffs. He's a weapon. Your own terminology admits it. If we execute or imprison him, the Empire will send more. Worse, without Mark's knowledge of their tactics, we're blind. With him, we have a fighting chance. The council debates for an hour. Mark stands silent, listening, accepting that his fate is not his own anymore, that he lost the right to self-determination when he killed heroes. Finally, the UN Secretary-General speaks. Mark Grayson, the Council has reached a decision. You will be granted provisional status as an Earth Defender. You will work under GDA supervision. You will wear a monitoring device at all times. You will submit to monthly psychological evaluations. And you will make yourself available for any Viltrumite incursion response. Is this acceptable? Yes, sir. Furthermore, if you violate any of these terms, if you fail a psychological evaluation, if you show signs of reverting to your previous programming, you will be immediately detained and neutralized. Do you understand? Prove us right. The council adjourns. Mark is fitted with a monitoring bracelet, Viltrumite grade, tamper-proof. He doesn't resist. Cecil approaches afterward. You handled that well, stayed calm, accepted their terms without argument. I don't have the right to argue. I'm lucky they didn't execute me. True. But now you have a chance. Don't waste it. Cecil hands him a tablet. Your first assignment. Meteor on collision course with Jakarta. Standard deflection mission. Nothing complicated. Prove you can protect without destroying. Mark takes the tablet, looks at the trajectory data. When? 90 minutes. Your wheels up in 10. Don't be late for your first day. Cecil walks away. Mark stands there holding the tablet, his first mission as Earth's defender. Not the Empire's weapon. Not Thragg's creation, just himself. Debbie appears beside him. How do you feel? Terrified, uncertain, unqualified. Good. That means you're human. She kisses his cheek. Go save people, baby. Show them who you really are. Mark nods, flies toward the launch bay. 90 minutes later, meteor impact site. Mark intercepts the meteor at 80,000 feet. It's massive, 200 meters across, moving at terminal velocity. Impact would level Jakarta, kill millions. His tactical processor activates automatically, calculate trajectory, identify weak points, optimal strike vector, 23 degrees. Force required, 87% capacity. He follows the calculation, hits the meteor at precisely the right angle, the right force. The impact splits it into 3 pieces, each angled away from Jakarta, each small enough to burn up an atmosphere. No casualties, no damage. Clean execution. Mark hovers in the debris field, watching the fragments burn, monitoring his comm for confirmation. Cecil's voice crackles. Jakarta is clear. Meteor neutralized. Good work. It was a basic deflection, nothing complicated. But you did it without destroying half the city in the process. That's progress. Cecil pauses. Welcome to the team, Mark. 1 mission down. A lifetime to go. The comm clicks off. Mark floats alone in the upper atmosphere, watching the sun set over Earth, the planet he almost conquered, the planet he's now sworn to protect. He thinks about the Guardians, about Red Rush's widow, about Thragg rotting in a cell, about his parents rebuilding a home in a house scarred by craters, about who he was, who he is, who he's trying to become. It's not redemption, not yet, maybe not ever, but it's a start. And for the first time in 15 years, Mark Grayson makes a choice that's entirely his own. He chooses to try. 3 months later, Mark stands on the roof of GDA headquarters, watching the sunrise. He does this most mornings now. The routine helps, grounds him. His comm chirps. Cecil's voice. Got something for you. Conference room. Now. Mark flies down, enters the briefing room. Cecil is there, so is Nolan, still recovering but functional. Debbie sits beside him, and on the main screen, a transmission Viltrumite encryption. Imperial seal. They're making contact, Cecil says. Finally. We've been expecting this for months. The screen activates. A Viltrumite commander appears, older, scarred, wearing Imperial military insignia. Behind him, a warship bridge with dozens of other Viltrumites. Earth. I am Craig, Supreme Commander of the Viltrumite's fleet. The Empire requires explanation. Grand Regent Thragg has not reported in 4 months. Our reconnaissance indicates he is on your planet. Produce him immediately, or face occupation. Into camera view, Craig's eyes widen. You, the hybrid, Thragg's weapon. Not anymore. Mark's voice is steady. Thragg is alive but incapacitated. He's being held under Earth custody for war crimes, attempted genocide, and crimes against sentience. Then Craig's face hardens. Release him immediately. A Grand Regent cannot be held by primitives. He can and he is. Mark doesn't blink. And if you attempt to retrieve him by force, you'll face the same fate. You dare threaten the Empire? A half-breed who should have been cold at birth? Craig's voice rises. You exist because we allowed it. Your father exists because we were merciful. That mercy ends now. Then come. Mark's expression is cold. Send your fleet. Test Earth's defenses. See what happens when you underestimate us again. You speak boldly for someone who murdered Earth's heroes. I've reviewed the footage. You were loyal to the Empire once. You killed for us. Why should I believe you've truly defected? Because I'm the one who broke Thragg's spine. I'm the one who stopped his invasion. And I'm the one telling you now. Earth is off limits. Permanently. Off limits? Craig actually laughs. You have no authority to declare that. You're nothing. A genetic aberration playing at relevance. Then I'll make this simple. Mark's voice drops. Quieter. More dangerous. Run a genetic scan on me. Full analysis. Check my bloodline markers. Craig's expression shifts. Why would I? Do it. Now. Craig gestures off screen. A technician works controls. Craig reads the data. His face goes pale. Impossible. The Argol line was extinct. The records. I am Mark Grayson, grandson of Lord Argol, rightful heir to the Viltrumite throne by ancient law and bloodline succession. Thragg held the position as Grand Regent, a steward. I am the Emperor. The transmission erupts. Viltrumites behind Craig are shouting, arguing, checking data. Craig himself looks stricken. The Argol heir cannot be half human. The bloodline cannot be contaminated. And yet here I am, 94% Argal genetic markers. Confirmed. Mark's cold command. Something else. Something that carries weight beyond violence. By Viltrumite law, the Argal bloodline supersedes all other authority. You know this. Your ancestors swore oaths to this principle. Craig's jaw works. He's trapped by his own culture's laws. Even if your bloodline is legitimate, you're unfit to rule. You were raised on Earth, contaminated by human sentiment. You've betrayed the Empire. I've evolved beyond it. Mark cuts him off. The Empire as Thragg envisioned it is dying. 50 Viltrumites left in the galaxy. 50. Clinging to doctrines that killed billions of your own people. The Great Purge, the genetic culling, the Scourge virus. Your purity obsession brought you to extinction's edge. Watch your words, hybrid. I'm not a hybrid. I'm the future. Mark's voice is steel. And here's my first decree as rightful emperor. The age of conquest ends today. Viltrumites will no longer subjugate worlds, no longer exterminate civilizations, no longer operate as the galaxy's blight. You cannot simply, I can, I just did. Mark leans into the camera. Any Viltrumite who wants to serve under my rule will do so under new terms. We protect instead of conquer. We build instead of destroy. We earn respect instead of demanding submission. Those who cannot accept this are free to leave, to find some dead corner of space and rot in your obsolete ideology. Craig's fists clench. And if we refuse, if we choose to continue the Empire as it was, and when the galaxy finally turns on you, when the Coalition, the Federation, and every species you've oppressed unites to end you, Earth won't save you. I won't save you. You'll face extinction alone. You're betraying everything Viltrum stood for. No, I'm saving what Viltrum could have been before you destroyed it with your purity obsession. Mark's expression softened slightly. Craig, I've read your service record. Thragg had files on every Viltrumite. You're not a fanatic, you're a soldier. A good one. You've served for 3,000 years. Seen civilizations rise and fall. Do you really believe the current path is sustainable? Craig is silent for a long moment. Behind him, other Viltrumites watch, waiting. Finally, he speaks. What would you have us do? We are warriors. Combat is our nature. Then fight for something worth fighting for. Protect trade routes from pirates. Stop genocides before they start. Defend worlds that can't defend themselves. Use your strength for creation instead of destruction. That's not conquest. That's service. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Mark's voice is firm. Service to something larger than yourselves. To a galaxy that deserves better than fear and subjugation. Can you do that? Craig looks at his crew, at the other Viltrumites. Some look angry, some look confused, some look hopeful. I will need to consult with the remaining commanders. This is not a decision I can make alone. Take your time. But understand, Earth is my line. Cross it, and you face me, not Thragg's weapon, not a half-breed, the rightful emperor of Viltrum. And I will end you. Craig's expression hardens with respect. Understood, Emperor. We will deliberate and respond within the standard period. One more thing, Craig. He will live out his life as an example of what happens when strength becomes tyranny. Non-negotiable. Craig hesitates, then nods. As you command, Emperor. Actually laughs. Well, that was a hell of a power play. Will it work? Debbie asks. Can you actually stop them from invading? I don't know. Mark sits down, suddenly exhausted. But I had to try, had to offer them an alternative to extinction. Nolan puts his hand on Mark's shoulder. You did well. Gave them a choice. That's more than Thragg ever offered anyone. What if they choose wrong? What if they come anyway? Then we fight, together, as a family. Nolan's grip tightens. But I don't think they will. Craig is smart. He knows the Empire is dying. You gave him a way out, a way to evolve. Some will take it. You just redefined Viltrumite culture in a 5-minute conversation. Change the rules. Whether they adapt or die is their choice now, not yours. 2 months later. Mark sits in his childhood bedroom. The new house is different from the old one, but Debbie tried to recreate it. Same blue walls, same posters of dinosaurs, same small details she remembered. He's holding Zoom Zoom, the blue blanket with rockets. Debbie saved it, kept it in storage for 15 years. It smells like detergent and time and something else. something familiar that his conscious mind doesn't recognize but his body remembers. A knock at the door. Nolan enters. Can I come in? It's your house. It's your room. Nolan sits on the bed, sees the blanket. She was so happy when she found that. Cried for an hour. I don't remember it, not really, just impressions, feelings. Mark touches the fabric, but it feels right, like it belongs. Memory isn't just conscious thought. Your body remembers. Your instincts. That's enough. Nolan is quiet for a moment. I got word from the Empire. Official response to your decree. Mark tenses. And 37 Viltrumites have sworn loyalty to you as Emperor. 13 refused and left to form a separatist faction. The rest are undecided, but Thragg has formally acknowledged your authority. The Empire, what's left of it, accepts your rule. Mark processes this. So it worked. They're actually listening. You gave them something Thragg never did. Hope. A future that doesn't end in extinction, Nolan smiles. You're already a better emperor than he was a regent. I'm not staying emperor. But I'm not ruling an empire from a throne room somewhere. Mark sets down the blanket. I'm staying here, on Earth, with you and Mom, helping Cecil, defending this planet. Let the Viltrumites figure out their new path without me micromanaging. They need leadership, guidance. They need to learn how to function without a tyrant telling them what to think. Thragg can handle administration. I'll provide direction when necessary. But I'm not abandoning Earth to play emperor. Mark's voice is firm. This is my home. These are my people. I choose them. He pulls Mark into a hug. Tight. Desperate. I'm so proud of you. Your mother is so proud. Mark hugs back. Awkward. Still learning how to do this. I learned it from you. Choosing Earth over the Empire. It seemed to work out. Took me 20 years. You managed it in 6 months. I'm efficient. They laugh. Genuine laughter. The sound is strange in this room, but good. Right. Debbie appears in the doorway. Dinner's ready. Pot roast. Your favorite, Nolan says to Mark. I still don't remember it being my favorite. Doesn't matter. It is now. Debbie smiles. Come on, both of you. Before it gets cold, they head downstairs. 3 people, a family, broken and rebuilt and still finding their way, but together. 6 months later, Chicago Memorial. The monument stands in the center of where Michigan Avenue used to be. Before the battle, before the bodies, before everything changed. It's a simple structure, black granite, 7 names carved into the stone. Red Rush, Green Ghost, Darkwing, Aquarius, Martian Man, War Woman, the Immortal, Guardians of the Globe, Heroes. Martyrs. Mark stands before it. He comes here once a week, always at dawn, always alone. Today is different. Today, someone is waiting. Red Rush's widow, the woman who slammed the door in his face 6 months ago. She's holding flowers, sees Mark, doesn't run. They stand in silence for a long moment. Finally, she speaks. I've been watching you, the news, the missions, saving people, stopping threats. Her voice is tight. You've pulled 17 people out of burning buildings, stopped 4 terrorist attacks, diverted 2 asteroids. The news keeps count. Mark says nothing, just listens. I still hate you, for what you did, for what you took from me, from our children. She places the flowers at the memorial, but I also understand you were a victim, a child stolen and weaponized. It doesn't excuse what you did, but it contextualizes it. I don't deserve context. No, you don't. She looks at him. But you're trying. That counts for something. Not forgiveness. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But acknowledgement that you're trying to be better than what you were. I can never bring him back. I know. But you can honor his memory by being what he was. A protector. A hero. She wipes her eyes. Keep doing that. Keep saving people. And maybe someday when I look at you, I won't see the person who killed my husband. I'll see the person who saved hundreds of others. Mark watches her go, turns back to the memorial. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, he says to the names. To any of you, but I'm going to spend my life earning it anyway. Protecting the world you died for. Being the hero you thought I couldn't be. He places his hand on the stone. Thank you for standing against me, for fighting even when you knew you'd lose, for being brave enough to face a monster. I'll try to be worthy of that courage. The wind picks up. rustles the flowers. Mark stands there for another minute, then flies away. 1 year later, the Grayson house. Mark sits at the dinner table. Nolan is telling a story about his early days on Earth, something about accidentally destroying a historical monument because he didn't understand human construction tolerances. Debbie is laughing. And they just forgave you, just like that? Well, I did rebuild it, brick by brick. Took 3 days, Nolan grins. The mayor was very understanding once I explained I was an alien learning about structural integrity. Mark smiles. Listening, this is normal now. Family dinners, shared stories, laughter. His calm buzzes. Cecil, we've got a situation. Category 4. Possible Viltrumite separatist attack on a coalition transport. Need you on site yesterday. Mark stands. I have to go. We haven't even had dessert. I'll be back. Save me a piece of pie. He kisses her forehead. Love you, Mom. The words come naturally now. Not forced, not uncertain, just true. Love you too, baby. Be safe. He looks at Nolan. Dad. Go. Save people. That's what we do. Mark flies through the roof, toward the crisis, toward danger, toward his purpose. Not as Thragg's weapon, not as the Empire's tool, as himself, as Mark Grayson, son of Nolan and Debbie Grayson, defender of Earth, reluctant emperor of a dying civilization he's trying to reform. Hero. He's still learning what that means. Still fighting Thragg's conditioning. Still waking up some nights seeing the Guardians' faces. Still carrying guilt that may never fully heal. But he's trying, choosing every day to be better than what he was, to protect instead of destroy, to love instead of conquer. And that's enough, because he's not alone anymore. He has a family, a home, a purpose beyond violence. He has a future. And for Mark Grayson, the boy who was stolen at 3, broken for 15 years and rebuilt through pain and love and choice, that future is bright. Epilogue. 5 years later, the Viltrumite Empire has been officially dissolved. The remaining Viltrumites operate as independent protectors across the galaxy. Some serve on coalition peacekeeping forces. Some defend frontier worlds. Some work with the GDA. 13 separatists remain, clinging to the old ways. They're hunted not by Mark, but by other Viltrumites, by Craig and those who chose evolution over extinction. Thragg is still alive, still paralyzed. Still in his cell, Mark visits him once a year. They don't speak. Mark just stands there, a reminder, a mirror, a warning of what could have been. Red Rush's widow remarried. Her children are teenagers now. They don't forgive Mark, but they acknowledge him when they see him. That's progress. The Grayson house is filled with photographs now, new memories. Mark's first successful rescue. Mark's 20th birthday. Mark and Nolan training together. Mark, Debbie, and Nolan at the memorial, placing flowers. Mark stands in his room, holding Zoom Zoom. The blanket is threadbare now, worn from being held, from being remembered. He doesn't need it anymore. The memories are clearer now, more complete, but he keeps it anyway, a bridge between who he was, who he became, and who he chose to be. Outside, the sun sets over Earth, the planet he was born on, stolen from, trained to conquer, and finally chose to protect. His calm chirps. Another crisis, another chance to be a hero. Mark smiles, sets down the blanket, flies toward the sunset, toward his family, his home, his life. Free. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.